out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuned to Apartment 5B podcast. I got my squad with me in effect tonight. I got my brother JR, the R&B guru. What's going on, fam?
What's going on? Good to be here.
No doubt. And I've got the Philadelphia legend, my brother, my man, my guy, my old head, Trey Lee. What's going on, good brother?
Man, always a pleasure, Kill. You already know what it is, brother. It's the best show on the net right now.
Talk about it.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Before we even dive into what we talking about this week, please talk about what your wife just dropped, bro. Please.
Oh man, we getting into that early. Well, look,
yeah, please.
Listen. I am so proud of this work right here. It's called Hip Hop Don't Stop. It's a children's book that my wife put together, and not just put together, but I mean she definitely put her foot in it. You know what I'm saying? It's a well written children's book for the ages of 4 to 8. You know, go up or down 1 or 2 if you wish, but it's just, you know, it summarizes, and she says that I and the family are the inspiration behind it, and it even comes down to the illustrations, which was illustrated by a young girl out of Haiti. And the interesting thing about that is she did the illustrations during the hurricane, during the assassination. So it was like for her to come out with these beautiful depictions of, if you look closely, this is actually my daughter and my son. You know what I'm saying? Taking those, you know, pictures and creating this illustration, man, it just brought everything home with regards to the book. But, you know, the book is about, you know, just the basic principles of, or not even, I don't want to say dumbing it down, but speaking in a language where a 4 and an 8-year-old can understand what the culture is about and the foundation of the culture and things like that. So I encourage everybody, if you don't have children of that age group, if you know anybody, if you're in the school systems, please, this is the book you need right now. Great for holiday gifts, stocking stuffer, and all that kind of stuff, for readings and everything. Hip Hop Don't Stop by Lori Nelson Lee.
Now, where can they copy that, good brother?
You can copy it on Amazon.com, man, and please leave reviews. We are asking for reviews on Amazon.com. Please leave reviews when you copy. Even if you don't copy, just leave a review so that we can get some traction on it. But they can go right to Amazon.com. Very easy and very inexpensive as well. You know what I'm saying?
All right, no doubt. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. So, we all know about the Drink Champs interview with Ye. So I started thinking about, because Ye is, and Trey, you used the exact word, he's so polarized. You know what I mean? You have so many people who are like, you know, I don't mess with Ye anymore. Like, Kill, I don't want to be on this week because I don't really rock with Ye like that.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Well, I was wondering why the numbers were so small.
Yeah, it's not the regular 5B. Porch is at the dentist, Vern is at work, Eddie's, so it's not the apartment 5B.
Oh, okay.
But just maybe some of the other regulars was like, I know with certain people with certain things, people feel some kind of way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but he's so polarized. So I wanted to kind of look at the rise and fall of Kanye West, and like JR and Trey and I were talking before we started recording, has there really been a fall? People are still buying $650 Yeezys. So people are still, packing stadiums, arenas, football stadiums to see him. So, has there been a fall off? And if it was, well, who was the fall off with? Maybe the Boom Bap and the Backpackers don't rock with him no more. But obviously somebody is rocking with Ye because, I keep hearing he's a billionaire. He's not a billionaire. he's somewhere teetering around that number. So he's in the arena of billionaires. So, usually when we say fall off, it's like, oh, damn, I seen Ye working at the Gap. You know what I mean? Usually that's the fall off. So, I want to talk about the rise and the fall. But first things first, just dive into like the first time that you even heard of a Kanye West. And Trey, I know this is, I want to start with you because I know a young Kanye West was producing your sophomore album, before any of us even knew what a Kanye was. So one, how did you connect with Kanye at that point and so early in his career? And like, what were your thoughts of him and his music and like that?
Basically, I got introduced to Kanye before he was Kanye, before he was Kanye West. I got introduced to Kanye through Derek D. Angeletti, who, if anybody, if you've been living under a rock, you will not know the affiliation that I have with D. D. is my mentor. D. is the cat that actually brought me in the game. You know what I'm saying? And so D. was co-managing Kanye at the time.
Just for 1 second, just for any kids at home, for the kids, you know what I mean? No disrespect to the youth, but just talk a little bit about D. Just a couple of songs he produced. Just a couple.
All I gotta say is one, the Benjamins. If you don't know that, then you don't even need to have another hip hop discussion ever in your life. You know what I'm saying? But amongst that is, Where I'm From by Jay-Z. Feel So Good. The list goes on. Hypnotized. The Theme. You're talking about colossal records here. This is not just from, he did a couple of backpack beats. Nah, these are huge records. You know what I'm saying? And he's a very unsung producer. I don't think when you start talking about the great producers, they speak of the hitmen collectively, but you gotta dissect it. You gotta dissect it down to Nasheem. You gotta dissect it down to D. because those in particular.
And Ron Lawrence too, right?
And Ron Lawrence, yeah, D-Dot's.
Ron Lawrence, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mystery system right there. See, I'm taking deep dives into the bag. And these are the cats that don't get mentioned when you start talking about great producers. But if you look at the discography, they got huge records. Period. Right. So D-Dot, him and my man Free, this is all a Howard connection. Basically, he was co-managing, Kanye at the time. And so, Kanye was doing a lot of the in-house production for Crazy Cat, which was D-Dot's imprint, up under Sony. And so, me, when I started working on the second album, which was never released, basically a young Kanye was getting on the train from Chicago, backpack and all, coming down to New York, or coming down and over to New York, and basically, trying to get on. Anyway, rhyming, making beats, didn't matter. He was just trying to get on, period. You know what I'm saying? And so that was my first encounter with Kanye, because he actually landed 2 tracks on, the Live from the 215 album that never got released. A track called City to City and another track called Catch 22. And so...
shit, he did Catch 22?
He did Catch 22.
I never knew that.
He did, which is one of the both of them voices bangers on it.
Right.
Catch 22 in particular, man. Him and it'll come back to me. But nevertheless, that was my encounter with Kanye. You know what I'm saying? And so, and the thing about Kanye that I have a vantage point because I met him early in the game. And by the way, Catch 22 was co-produced by the late great Chucky Thompson. I just got to mention that as well.
R.I.P. Chucky.
All right, yeah, absolutely. But the thing about Kanye, and this is the thing, and we'll probably get deeper into this conversation. Kanye is the same person that he was when I met him in 1998, 99, that he is now, except he just has more money.
Okay.
Just imagine a person with that personality going from jumping on trains and backpacks to now having, whatever you want to call it, $1 billion, close to $1 billion. Just imagine how that will magnify. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we'll get deeper into that. But just to answer your question, those are my first encounters with Kanye. Early in the
Now tell me this. That's your encounter as a producer. When did you realize he rhymed? Like, was he at your session trying to rhyme on it with you? Like, was he trying to roll his way up?
Most of his tracks that he was soliciting or that he was shopping, he was rhyming. So he was rhyming from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's just that a lot of cats didn't want to give him a shot to rhyme. Dot, thought he could rhyme, but everybody else, like Free, was like, nah, just stick to the tracks, da 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 da. Like it was a bunch of cats that just didn't, even Dame was like, nah. And so he had to go, do something on his own to show and prove that this is what he does. But he was rhyming from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
All right, no doubt. Gerald, what about you? When's the first time you heard the name Kanye? You heard a song? When did you link? Or when did you hear the name and just know about a Kanye West?
Well, I heard him through the wire, but I knew of him because I'm a Lana Notes reader for real. So when I heard Jay-Z's Heart of the City, I was like, yo, who is this cat that did this beat? And of course I started looking at the Lana Notes and was like, oh, this is Kanye. So then after then it was like I started really paying attention to him because it was like, all right, he did that, he did Never Change, he did a lot on the Blueprint. So I started really paying attention to him, and then after that, then when I heard Through the Wire, it was like, oh, this is Kanye. Oh, this is the dude that was doing the beats for everybody. That's when I knew he can rhyme. I was like, oh, because then, like in the video, he's showing that he rhyming he's trying to rhyme in front of everybody. Like the video with him rhyming in front of Mos Def and rhyming in front of everybody. He just wanted to show he rhymed. I wasn't really paying attention to him rhyming. I was paying attention to his beats. You know what I mean? And then even before in the wire, Through the Wire, the whole Alicia Keys joint, You Don't Know My Name, I was like, oh, that's the same dude that did the Blueprint stuff. So that's how I got really introduced to Kanye, not really as a rapper, but through a producer and me reading the liner notes and stuff.
Right. And I'm the same way. I first saw his name in the Blueprint liner notes when I got the Blueprint, because the beats was crazy. I heard the Takeover. I'm looking at it, I'm like, and it's funny because when I first saw it, I thought his name was pronounced Kanye West. You know what I mean? So the first time I heard Kanye West Trey, this is one of them times when like I remember exactly where I was. I was on South Street in Philly. One of the mixtape stores was blasting Scarface's Guess Who's Back. And in the beginning of that, Jay-Z says Kanye West on the track. And I was like, oh, it's Kanye, not Kanye. Okay, Kanye West on the track. And that was that. And then I want to say it was a mixtape out. He had a mixtape called I'm Good that came out before the College Dropout. That had stuff like Heavy Hitters and just like a whole bunch of stuff that he was producing and doing and everything like that. And it was just like, yo, I mess with this dude. He kind of gave me the feeling of, I always tell people I miss that 88 hip hop where you could have Kid and Play, Kwame, just cool dude. No, he wasn't killing nobody. He was just rapping, it gave me that feeling again. And to see that he was and we'll kind of talk about, because I don't think there's no Kid Cudi, there's no Drakes. I think Ye was like the introduction of being able to wear a pink polo, you know what I mean? And like you said, back when they called pink polos would hurt the rock, like, dog, this ain't the image we going for right now. This ain't it. So that's the first time I heard of him. Amir, what about you, good brother? When's the first time that you heard of Kanye West?
For me, bro, I think it was I was in I think I'm an understudy of Eddie F. Those guys like that, Mount Vernon, man. So Eddie and Dio had I'm like their super duper understudy type, shit. So what happened was Eddie had mentioned him to me like, yo, this dude is crazy. And it's like he said around the time when I think D-Dot was moving him around, but I was a kid, like I didn't know nothing. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what was going on. Like,
right.
So, but I bumped into him at a BET Rip the Runway party. And might have been Eva Pickford, Fonzo Bentley around that time. I think when he was doing all that stuff with that crew.
Yeah.
And I had like started to dive into his music. But my first record that I think I fell in love that he produced was off College Dropout, was Family Business. And when I heard Family Business, man, it was like that record was on repeat. And to keep it a buck, the Family Business, and even a shout out at the end. He's one of the first producers I seen to give a shout out in that format. I could see he was trying to bend the status quo, So for me, when I hear Kanye and I think of what, you know, his legacy is and what he's trying to, you know, I think of family business and how I felt listening to College Dropout in the crib. And those two, I mean, the tape was fire, but those two records to me stuck to my ribs heavy because they were just very like, I could relate so heavy at the time, you know, for me.
Right.
But like Trey said, I mean, I didn't, and I remember being in the barbershop and it was like these girls who were like stylish used to come in the shop and get their hair cut in the, uptown. And one girl might have been from Ohio or something, and she was always mentioning it. I don't know if she worked at the Fader magazine or she worked at one of the publications. But you know, a cute girl come in the barbershop, everybody, you know, she tell you that this dude is hot. You know, niggas in the shop is automatically gonna be like, but she's like, no, she's championing it, like but I didn't know that she worked with him at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I guess she's part of the PR, his early PR management or PR team. I forgot her name, but if I see her face, and I remember her coming to the shop telling dudes in the barbershop that this dude was nice.
Right.
And like, we're back when I think Pink Polos would have hurt the Rock, that type of because to keep it a bug, the verbiage in them early bars, bro, he was trying to prove something. They're not as like today. He's mastered saying more with less.
Right.
So I do respect his penmanship. I don't know if he's writing everything these days. You know, there's all kinds of things floating around, but in the beginning, you could tell he put his soul on the line. So, I mean, I ain't gonna drag it, but that's where I was at with it. With
Right. DJ Rack One, what's going on, good brother?
Oh man, what's going on, gentlemen?
Hey, what's up with you? What's up?
Good, baby. Good.
Just getting back. What's up, JR?
What's good with you, man? When's the first time you heard of Kanye West, man?
That I can remember, honestly, man. I would say 04. I took a trip to LA for about 15 days. And that's all my homeboy kept talking about was Kanye West. And I was like, all right. And he ended up having the leak of the album. This was spring. This was March of 04. And we listened to that thing all through LA, man. And I was like, okay. I was floored. At the time it wasn't nothing out like that. And I was pleasantly surprised. It made the trip, a memorable one, having something that wasn't nobody listening to where we riding, 5'6" dudes, my height, walking through LA in Timbs, we stick out like sore thumbs.
Yeah.
But it was he was doing stuff that we had heard before, but just in a different way from a standpoint of the production. And like Amir said, like you could tell somebody had told him he was whack and he got his shot and he was gonna let you know he was not whack. His bars were different. They weren't necessarily on the lyrical, but it was like, yo, this cat
it was the way he was saying it. Like the way he would like kind of drag certain shit, you know what I'm saying? It was the way he was, bending the shit a little bit, and that twang a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
It stuck out.
And there was definitely a little bit of I'm pissed off in there because can you imagine being in that camp and everybody's on fire and you in the back of your head you wanted a nice. Imagine if he gave up at that time, what we would have missed.
We'd never heard from him. If Jay would have got his way, we'd have never heard from him.
Yeah, his superpower was brilliance in the beginning.
And the funny thing is, I always use that when I'm talking to my teens because I'm like, yo, when you look at two of the biggest stars in the game, and Jay-Z and Kanye West, Jay couldn't even get a record deal. You know what I mean? So that right there. So I always tell my teens, like, yo, if somebody turns you down, every label turn Jay-Z down. You know what I mean? And look at Jay. Kanye was on the rock. You know what I mean? And he's getting turned down. And now look at Kanye. So like Amir was saying, the superpower is that perseverance, and that's what I got to build up in my teens. So that's why we got to build that up in each other, just as black men in this country, the perseverance to keep going, because it's like people are going to tell you no. You know what I mean? And we got to keep doing that. And it's funny, Rec, that you said that about Ye. Another reason he reminded me of the Kid and Play Kwame days was because dude, that 88 year of hip hop, you didn't have to be a lyrical assassin. No. Like post 93, it was all about bars. Like nobody was like, yo, I ain't like Play's verse on Last Night. Nigga, it was a dope ass song. I was sitting around like, yo, Kid's verse on Getting Funky wasn't he wasn't hitting no points. He wasn't doing no spiritual lyrical shit. Like it was like, yo, it's just a dope song. It wasn't until we got to 93 with the Nas's and keep in mind, like we had the Rakims, we had the KRS, so it wasn't like all that stuff couldn't live together. You know what I mean? And that's what I liked about Ye, because he was never no lyrical assassin. You know what I mean? Like you was never gonna look at Ye like a Black Thought, like yo, just attack and but he was dope at what he did.
It was relatable. He made it relatable. He made it okay to be yourself or to be the weird dude, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? But you could rap. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes, a fact.
He made it relatable. Like cats to this day walk around with peacoats and hoodies on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I got one in my closet. No lie.
Yeah.
And think about it. I was telling somebody, bro, it's more people that's not from where most of us come from, like those neighborhoods where it's like, and I say that loosely. It's more Kanye West in the world than it is Tupac's.
Absolutely.
Right. That's true.
Absolutely.
Sometimes and we get sold at a lot that it's more Tupac's than it is Kanye's, but everybody ain't running around here with the burner trying to put run a drill down on somebody. It's less of that. I mean, even though these things happen, and that's why I think he won that, because he stayed true to self. And bro, his resilience is crazy.
Yeah, you are, and I love what you said. Like, I would almost say like it's more Kanye's than Conway's and Benny the Butcher's. Everybody want to be Conway and Benny the Butcher, and I move packs and I got guns and I done got shot at. But it's much more Kanye's than niggas who's getting shot and everything like that. All right, let's do this. Top 5 Ye beats and top 5 Ye songs, because I think I never hear Ye's name really brought up when it comes to best producer on the mic. You know what I mean? We hear Diamond. I think Diamond coined that phrase, the best producer on the mic. We hear Diamond, we hear Pete, we hear, Large Pro, we may hear Dilla. I never really hear Kanye's name. Top 5 beats for me, I got Lucifer by Jay-Z. The first time I heard that joint, I was like, yo, this beat crazy. You know what I mean? And then I think another thing Ye doesn't get credit for is that he does so much demoing of the songs that he produces. So Trey, when you said he's shopping beats, but he's already rhyming on it, it kind of makes sense. Because when I'm watching the making of the Black album and I'm seeing him tell Jay, I'm from the murder capital, where they murder for cap. Like, that shit ain't coming up with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it makes sense when Trey is like, nah, like he be rhyming over the beats I want. You know what I mean? And like, doing things like that. Lucifer, I just think that beat is just fucking crazy. Guess Who's Back, Scarface with Jay, Face, and Beans. That beat is just crazy to me. I love that beat. A song that if you ain't a big Beans dude, you may not know, Nothing Like It. It was the first song on the second album. The reason this joint right here is the first song on this joint. Nothing Like It. Love that joint. Food by Common. And I heard at that point, prior to the Food, Common was dead to me. He did that Electric Circus. He was talking to deaf women in the goddamn window. He was wearing knit sweaters with no sleeves.
Here you go.
Like he was dead in the water. But I give him the pass. He was messing with Erykah Badu. That's producer. So, he got turned to stone. But when the next time, so I was like, forget Common, I'm done. And then I see him on the Chappelle show doing the Food. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So crazy that version is what made the album, because they have a studio version of Food, but it just didn't hit. It didn't hit the same.
It didn't sound right.
So it's so crazy that they was like, yo, we got to put the live version on the album. And the truth be told, Trey, I mean, anybody up here correct? I can't think of too many other times when there's a live version of a song in the middle of a studio album. Either it's a live album, it's a studio album. Yeah. There's not too many times you're gonna just get a live, like in Run DMC on their debut album, they didn't put, Here We Go, which was live in Queens, just in the middle of that album, but they literally stuck a live track in the middle of an album. So that, and Get By Talib. When I heard Get By, I was like, yo, this joint is crazy. That's why I call perfect hip hop. The chorus was perfect. It's a relatable song. The beat was crazy. I remember reading a line of notes about Thinks to Live's album. He was saying how everybody wanted that beat. From Pharoah Monch to, I want to say, don't quote me because my mind ain't the same. I want to say even Mariah Carey wanted that beat. That Get By beat. Like, everybody wanted Get By. Like, it was that crazy that everybody wanted that beat. Song-wise, I'm going to go with All Falls Down. The reason because, Rec, just like you said, I always felt like in those beginning years, I felt like Ye was speaking to me. Like, that whole, I'm so self-conscious. Like, yo, I'm not going to the super. If he said, yo, can you go to the supermarket? I'm putting on some Jordans. I'm not just throwing on nothing. You know, I would have been that nigga who, yo, you know, I brought a chain before I brought a crib, or, you know, that whole self-conscious thing. But I like the original All Fall Down. On the bootleg version of College Dropout, it's like a poetry slam skit. There's no music. It's just him talking it, and you can hear like laugh track in the back and everything like that. Same words, but that Devil in a New Dress, man. I just love that joint. You know what I mean?
Did Bink do that?
Yeah, Bink did that. Bink did that. The beat is just crazy. Everything that he's saying, you know, you should call me a jerk, you say you are what you eat, like that. Slow jams, man. The first time I heard slow jams, I was like,
that's the joint right there.
That's a banger. You're sampling one of my favorite Luther songs. You're killing it. You got Jamie doing the hook. Twister comes in and just kills it. The video was crazy. Spaceship, man. Spaceship. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That right there. Again,
please break that down.
My favorite
point.
That everything from work. He's working in the Gap. I used to work in Foot Locker. You know what you know about doing 5 beats a day for 3 summers. I deserve. You know we say I deserve something like Cree Summer. I deserve to do these numbers. The kid that made back deserves that made back. So many records in my basement. I'm just, like, that was speaking to my soul. Like, yo, that was me. Like, yo, I'm making all these. Like, yo, one summer 98, I'm in the crib. That's all I did. That whole entire summer was making beats. I didn't have a job. My great-grandfather died, left me a little paper. I'm like, I'm gonna live off this paper for the summer, and that's all I'm gonna do. So, Spaceship. And if I had a little asterisk, can't tell me nothing, because I love that. I had a dream I could buy my way into heaven. I woke up and spent that on a necklace. You know, I told God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard.
You got a couple of the same records I had too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just those bars. Like, that's why I love Jay, because how many? Well, again, I can't speak for nobody else. For me, that would be me. Yo, I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven, and I woke up and spent that on a necklace. Like, nigga, God just said, yo, put your money here. It's like, no, thank you, God. I'm gonna put my money over here. You know, and it's like, it's so hard not to act records. And I used to do that to God all the time. I'd be like, no, thank you. I used to think I was doing some good shit by telling God, no, thank you. Like, I'm not just gonna say nah, but I'm gonna say no, thank you. I'm gonna be polite, but I'm not gonna do it. So those are my 5. JR, what are your 5 beats and 5 songs that you did from there?
All right, so my 5 beats, I'm gonna go with 5. I'm gonna start with Stay the Night with Mariah Carey. When he used that Ramsey Lewis Special Golly Wild beat. Very killed it, because she wanted that, beat. Yes, and she didn't get that, so Kanye gave her Stay the Night, and that joint, that's my favorite joint off Emancipation of Mimi. Like,
very dope song.
Oh my God, I was like, yo, Kanye gave her this? Woo! I was like, yo, this joint is crazy. Used to Love You, John Legend.
Another banger.
That when I heard that, because I already knew John Legend already when he was John Stevens, and he had like the live joint out. But when I heard this joint, I was like, yo, I already knew Kanye, and I was like, this joint sounds like a Kanye beat, like, and it's not even a sample, but I was like, it sounds like one, but it ain't. So I was like, oh yeah, this is hot. Alicia Keys, You Don't Know My Name.
Big song.
That main ingredient joint that he used. Oh my God. Like, crazy. That joint, when I heard it, because my grandma loves that main ingredient joint, Prove My Love to Me, Prove My Love to You. And when I heard it, I said, yo, how did he flip this? Like, how did he like work this joint? Like, I was just sitting there, like, when I first heard it, I was just sitting there like, yo, this dude is nuts. Like, and this is after the Blueprint. So I was like, yo, this dude he needs to be recognized for real. So,
but this is what I mean by people act like Ye would, at time of point, he was the dopest producer walking the planet Earth. Now, however people want to space that, this for a year, for 6 months, however you want to space that out, Ye was on after producer that you was trying to get a beat. But shit, that Alicia Keys record was huge. It wasn't just a hit. It was huge. It was everywhere.
Yes, it was.
I remember being in Harlem, and every car going by was playing "You Don't Know My Name." You know what I mean? So, very big.
Then, Girls, Part 2. He used that Persuaders trying the girls out, which
killed that. He killed that. He made that shit sound
hard. Yo, like Kanye reminds me of myself. Like I felt like because that's me. Like I'm going in just listening to these old records, and I'm like, yo, he's getting these beats and nobody's using them. Like I was like, yo, who used the Persuaders? Like nobody. And when he used that beat, it threw me. I was like, what? Who was using the Persuaders? Like nobody. Like, and when he used that beat, and I'm like, wow. And then the last one, my top Kanye beat is Heart of the City. That is my favorite Kanye beat. When I heard it, I was like, that's what put me on to Kanye, because I was like, that's a Bobby Blue band. And my grandparents loved Bobby Blue band. So I knew that record. So I was like, who is this cat? And when I looked, I was like, oh, Kanye West. I'm like, okay, this is... And then again, he did Never Change and all that good stuff. But Heart of the City, anytime I play that, I'm like blasting that joint because the beat is so sick. So those are my top Kanye beats. My top Kanye songs. Number 5 is Family Business. Like,
I had to go dig and find that sample. I didn't know what that shit was.
Yeah, the Dells.
I didn't know what
like,
that
I was
shit
like,
was.
yo, like for real, like I literally sat with the College Dropout and played that album over and over and over and over because I was like, yo, this dude is using these soulful beats that nobody is using. And you know, I'm blasting this in my room, and even when I know I got my mom walking in like, yo, this is this, and this is this, and I'm like, word? And she like, yes. She was like, I got the vinyl right here. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So that Family Business, See You in My Nightmares over 808 and Heartbreak. I know people don't really rock with it like that, but I like, yo, that joint to me is sick. You know what I mean? Everything I Am is another favorite of mine when it comes to Kanye. He using that funky drummer beat on that, and then of course Premier scratching. So Get 'Em High with Talib and Common.
That's my point right there.
That is my it, yo. Like, that
y'all want to hear
is
something
it,
funny?
yo. Like,
I fuck with that shit so hard I had to take it off of my throwback mix list. I had to put a list on my whiteboard to not play that song in my throwback mixes. I've played it for like 3 straight weeks.
When I want to hear a Kanye record, like
That's
I'm going to Get 'Em High. That beat is nuts. Like Common did what he needed to do. Talib did what he needed to do, and they bodied that joint. And like y'all said, Spaceship is my favorite Kanye record. Like he used that Distant Lover by Marvin and just him, like that song I can play over and over and over, and that I don't know if Kanye can get better than that for me. So Spaceship is my favorite record from Kanye.
Quint's bar on that kills me. You know, he said, you know, having somebody say you look just like that kid I seen in the Busta Rhymes video the other night. So easy come, easy. Like, yo, that whole joint is crazy. Trey, what about you, Trey? What you got?
So it's top 5 produced records by Kanye, and then top 5 songs by Kanye.
Right,
that he rhymed on, not necessarily produced, right?
Yeah, it could be anything that he rhymed on.
Okay, so production-wise, I mean, in no particular order, I'm gonna try to name some joints that have not been named. So, Brown Sugar.
Damn it!
I already know where you're going.
Put that on
I know where you're going.
Brown Sugar. Using the Invitation sample. Man, listen, I don't give a damn when you play that record. For me, either one. Like, you gotta play them synonymously. Like, if I hear one, I gotta hear the other. But just, I mean, when he used that shit, I forget where I was, but I know I just stopped everything that I was doing and I tuned everything out. Cause I was like, this motherfucker, he used that. I was on that record so hard for so many years, and he pulled that shit out the fucking crate. I was like, you motherfucker with this shit is hot.
And most killed it too. Killed
it. So, Brown Sugar, I'm gonna go with Flashing Lights is my shit. I remember where I was when I first heard that, when it really like pulled me in. I was throwing a party for homecoming, and I was at this shit called Posh, which used to be the old BT sound stage down on 11th and
Two-story club in DC.
Yes.
Yep. Know it well.
Nigga, Google threw that shit on, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And everybody in there just stopped and was like, what the fuck is that? Because this was the first time, this was before it even got the fuck out. You know, Google got the stash. I was like, yo, this shit, that shit. This shit is hard. And then they came out with the video with the chick stabbing the bull in the trunk. I was like, yo, this shit is hard, man.
Yeah.
So, Flashing Lights. Then I'm gonna go with I'll go with Go. Common. That's my shit. No, that shit is who's the energy, you know what I mean? That kind of free. Yo, that shit is he resurrected Combs, you know, for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that Beat album is one of my favorite albums. And so with that Go record, I was like, whew, up tempo, you know, he went with the BPMs. I love when cats, you know, take them BPMs up and then start grooving off of them shits, you know what I'm saying? And of course, Khan was in pocket with all that. So,
it's funny, Trey, they were saying that, I remember reading this in Scratch Mag, and they were saying that they were hanging out in Chicago making the album. They just came from seeing Ray, the movie with Jamie Foxx. So they just came from the movie, they cooked up Go. Again, to me, one of the important things of, you know, when you're in the studio with somebody working, you know what I mean? And you can go see a movie together, get inspired, be like, yo, let's hit the studio. You know what I mean? And to me, that's something about those younger hunger days. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna get inspired to make some shit go into some fashion show probably. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But you go to the movie with your man, see Ray, you get all that energy, and then you come back and you get going. Another thing I love about Go is the scratch, 8-track, you know, scratch and go it. And like, yo, we don't have scratch in hip hop like that. So that was just dope too.
Nah, dope. I'm gonna go with, see, I got two more production wise. So I'm gonna go with, see, the one of these two, I'll pick this one. 2 words.
You fatty, Trey.
2 words.
Be wise and bar wise.
Oh my God.
Be wise and bar wise.
2 words.
1 neck, 2 chains, 1 wall, 3 plaques.
Woo. And Freezer comes in at the end. I was like,
Yeah.
where did he come from? You know what I'm saying? Because him and Mos was already killing it. Right. He comes in, I'm like, woo, add a little action to it. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Turn you niggas into 2 words, fast runners. Better reach for your burner. You know.
Free boy. Jesus,
Words,
man.
words, fast runners, man. Ooh.
And then my last joint, which is going to swing over to my top 5 songs. So it's number 5 on production, and then number 1 on songs. And probably my favorite Kanye song is Jesus Walks. Jesus Walks was the first record that I can remember when I was in a club. And I mean, this is at the height of, you know, this is probably maybe the second record after the Shaka Khan joint, Through the Fire, right? Through the Wire, right? That, you know, this changes the mood, right? This changes the mood in a set. But the DJ had the balls to put it on, and it stopped everything. in a great way. It didn't stop it like, what the fuck is that? It was like, and then you hearing what he's talking about. It's like, damn, this record is hard, but it's powerful at the same time. And it's just the song itself. You know what I'm saying? So the track is crazy. What he's talking about is crazy. And then just the holistic of it is just, it's a dynamic song, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. And this is out the gate. This is the introduction of Kanye. You know what I'm saying? So Jesus Walks is 5 and 1. So going to songs, I mean, shit, you couldn't escape this joint, Gold Digger. Like, you couldn't escape that shit. You couldn't escape it. That shit was just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Off the hills of the movie and shit like that. It's like, come on, everybody do that joint.
Yo, Trey, hold on. You know what Gold Digger reminds me of? The right way to do what Saigon was supposed to do. The way Saigon was on Entourage. Yo, you supposed to drop that out. It's like, literally, you're coming right off of Ray. You got Jamie Foxx banging a race. You know, like, it just, that's an example of what Saigon was supposed to do. The Sai was supposed to win. Yeah, like Sai said in that rhyme, he said, it's like, it's me on Entourage, yo, you playing yourself. Like, that was supposed to be the perfect alley-oop for Saigon's career, and I still don't know what happened, but great point coming off of Ray with that.
Yeah, so that's 2. Then I'm gonna go with, I'll go with Run This Town, right? And the reason why I'm going with Run This Town, because this is the point where he actually gets Jay on the record. He murdered Jay on that record. And even Jay admitted it. He was like, you know, Pippen outscored Jordan once in his career, you know what I'm saying, once in a while, like, he murdered Jay on that record. So, Run This Town. Then we'll go with I like this record. I don't know, I mean, you know, but and it took me a minute, but I like the record now. Drive Slow.
Oh,
yeah, I like that record. I was like, crazy. And the funny thing, I didn't want to like that record. I like that record. You know what I'm saying?
Either. I thought it was me.
They in Vegas, let's put the video, they in Vegas and shit like that. You see the lights. I'm like, oh, these niggas. But it's like, the beat is so crazy. I was like, this. And then the dynamic of the video, you know, with the lights popping and shit. I was like, oh yeah, this shit's hard. T.I. kills it. Paul Wall kills it. I mean, this shit's crazy. And then the last one, I named one that you already named, man. That Guess Who's Back. That Guess Who's Back. That I mean, come on. That shit's hard. And that's it for me.
That's it. Amir, what you got, good brother? Top 5 Ye beats, top 5 Ye songs.
No particular order, but I have to use that as a disclaimer. I'm gonna say for me, man, y'all gonna smack me for this shit, man. I had Barry Bonds, bro, before that shit came out, man.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Like you mean you had the beat?
I had the beat on the CD, and it was from Knots before it ended up on the album. Dio had given me the beats, and I didn't know who produced it. I had that beat on there. I had that beat that Jay used with Too Short. I had a few beats on this shit that became like records. And I'm like, yo, okay, that's okay.
Yeah, man, it happens sometimes, brother. It happens sometimes. You know
that shit haunts me. But some of these beats, and I think songs kind of intertwined for me. I ain't gonna front. The record that Drake used, this is no particular order. Say What's Real. Remember when? And it's and then I'm gonna go Awkward Placers. When he was doing Pharrell, Kanye, and Lupe, that record was groovy. My Way Home.
That's a hot record right there. I love that
banger. That's before we started getting the drumless.
I love that record right there.
Wow. Good one.
And then I'm gonna go down.
That was Common, right?
Yeah.
No. Common was on My Way Home. Yeah, My Way Home. That shit.
Oh yeah.
That shit. I ain't gonna front. That shit was cinematic. That shit was theatric and cinematic at once. And Common's posture on Ye's beat in that time capsule.
That moment.
in that moment, that was a marriage that I wish they would do another project together. I know we're not gonna get it in this lifetime, but I say this: him and Ye together, that shit was.
It's magic. It's magic.
Yeah,
And
they
that's
don't-
your song right there, man. I don't mean to cut you off.
That's all love.
My pops is from Chicago, right? And so when that particular song reminded me of the things that I remember about my pops in the South Side and when I was there as a kid and all this other shit. Like that shit was like you said, it was cinematic. It was quintessential. Like
Yeah.
you felt this shit right here, yo.
Word. And Down and Out with him and Cam. You know, I'm a New York nigga, so I gotta go with Down and Out.
Okay. Can I say something right quick?
Flag wanna play.
Can I say something right quick?
You can say it first, yeah. You can say it first.
I was gonna put that on my list, but I didn't want Kill to bother me because we heard that.
I mean, you do know he ain't do that joint.
But
That's crazy.
you said
Yeah.
songs that wasn't he on it? He was never on it.
I mean, he
nowhere?
did the hook, but I thought he was naming songs he produced.
I thought he
But I think he
produced
said
Down
one
and
of
Out.
the same.
Nah, he
Yeah,
produced-
right. That's why.
This is what made me fuck my whole Ye production thing up, because he was on a mixtape and he was like, nah, one of my young boy producers, I think like Brian Williams or something like that, did that beat, because he'd be like, yo, I'm always out. People always say I love Down and Out. He was like, I ain't do that. He said, but at the time, you know, Cam was out, I was doing the hook, you know, and again, it just goes to show, Amir, what we were talking about earlier, how a name can help sell. So you saying, here's Cameron's first single produced by Brian All Day Miller, who nobody's heard of, it doesn't get you hype. Whereas if you say it's produced by Kanye West, now everybody's his ears are peaked to want to hear it, you know. But I do give Ye credit by admitting I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what killed me. Because whenever during that time it was always who's better. It reminded me of the '90s when it'd be like who's better, Peter Premier. You know what I mean? The early 2000s became who was better, Ye or Just. You know what I mean? And I would always be like Down and Out. That was like my big joker. Like that nigga did Down and Out, just walk away. So it killed me when I found out he ain't do Down and Out. I was like, oh.
Okay.
Nigga,
So since he ain't do Down and Out, I'll revert back and go to either food or two words, either or, toss up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I saw when I mentioned it. I saw your face, and man, you was like, "Ooh, yeah."
No, because I mean, the funny thing is, you could tell. I mean, a lot of us have these records that intersect, like you know. So I knew people were gonna mention the same joints, right? As far as songs, I'm not gonna do it in the order, but I'm gonna say off top, "Runaway" was one of my favorite joints. But a lot of people don't know that Pete co-produced "Runaway." Those drums are from Mecca and the Soul Brother.
Yeah.
Word, one of the interludes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pete, I didn't even know the nigga got a Grammy for Dog Twisted Fantasy. He won a Grammy for that album. He did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he just jacked it. So that's dope.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah, they was in Hawaii together when they did that record. Yeah, the Runaway track. And So Appalled.
Sure. So appalled, yeah.
So appalled. Yeah.
Record was crazy. Never Change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm gonna intersect with Tracy on Flashing Lights. And because you know, and this is my order's no specific order, and Family Business, because I played that shit until the CD scratched.
That shit.
Yeah. So those are like, and I'm not even doing his list any justice. But tonight, if you ask me next week, I may pick something different. But tonight,
Right.
Yeah.
but tonight, me thinking off top and doing light little Google search. What was the name of this record?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like I would run with these tonight, man. But Ye, you know, I was at that time you snatching. Remember, J Arms had the instrumental shit when you ain't have no producers. You go to the mix, you go to the instrumental websites. You start trying to burn niggas shit down to put your mixtape together. I mean, you was trying to get 50 Cent your way into the situation. You know, this rip niggas shit and keep going. So, so, but nah, those are my moments with Ye, for sure.
No doubt. Rack, what you got, good brother?
Beats. I'm going with Guess Who's Back. That shit
Damn, I
just
forgot
smacks, man. That shit just smacked.
But guess who's back? I had to say it too. Bro.
That
It was
shit.
on the mentions, but I had to say it too.
Like I said, I remember I was walking down South Street and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that?
What is that?
And it just starts with that. Dun, 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 dun. And then when the bass line comes in,
That's it.
And then Jay, Face, and Beans all kill. Like, that's the other part of it. Like, it's not just that the beat is dope, but then everybody kills their
all the
part.
verses are even. That's
Yeah.
one song where all the verses are even.
Correct.
Yeah.
That shit just smacks, man. It's one of them songs that remind me, like I know. It's like you said, you know what you was doing when you heard it, or you have an emotion tied to it when you hear it. That shit just smacks, man. I can't say too much else about it. The Corner.
Oh, I see. I had
Trey.
that on the list. I had that.
See, we here tonight. You made a valid point. He resurrected Common, and when I heard that, I said, "Oh, this nigga's back. This nigga's back."
And you know the wild part is, that's one of Common's bars.
Yeah.
On they
What?
say when he said, he said something like, he said the crochet and the something pants was whack. They heard the corner. He said that nigga's back. Like,
That nigga's
to
back.
me, that was that Minister Society moment where it's like, I know I fucked up, y'all. Like, I know I fucked up, so let me make it back up. That was that you cheated on your girl. Let me make it back up to you, sweetheart. Like, that was I cheated on hip hop. I went over here and did this. Let me come back and give y'all what y'all want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He I'll put it to you like this. Kanye need to be in Common's will.
Here's the thing, Greg.
Kanye,
The funny thing about B is anybody who knows me knows Dilla's my number one. I will tell you in a minute. I love those two Dilla beats, but I love those Ye beats even more.
I do.
And to me, that right there says a lot. You know what I mean? So,
It does. The Corner brought Common
In
back,
the corners.
and it brought back the Lost Poets for the people who had no idea who they were
Yes.
before all of the members eventually passed away. So we got a chance to put two and two together, like, oh shit, for those who did not know. So that was a beautiful thing. I love the fact that he
bro, the way Common wrote that shit, Black Church Services, Murderers, Arab Serving Burgers is like, oh my god.
he
Common-
wrote that beat.
He's one of the best, man. And Kanye really
Tailor-made the suit.
Exactly.
And it was the perfect thing.
Why
It was.
he's one of the best.
It reminds me of Mama Said Knock You Out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
LL had to come back. Marley was at
Oh,
his
God.
career with like the Juice Crew was going on. Marley's falling off. So for them, it was that. With Ye, he just so happened to be the best producer. That was like him in his bag. He was still in his boom bap bag. He wasn't. I'm not trying to do pop radio. I'm not making power yet. I'm still in this bag. And then Common got something to prove. And then and we both in Chicago. Like, you had to have that. And that was my thing. It's got to be all those things together. Would be Common and Kanye coming back. And it's like, nah, nigga, you ain't shooting no movie. I ain't over here with Kim. We together. We in Chicago. We building together. Like, that would just be incredible. My fault, bro. Keep going.
Nah, you good, man. That's the beauty of this show, man. We all spitting bars, even though we don't rap. We got two spitters on here.
These two rap. They
We got
rap.
two spitters. I'm talking about me and you. I'm talking about me, you, and JR.
I leave that
Look,
to
I
me.
am not including Trey. I'm not including me. Y'all the heavy spitters. I need
I
the
leave
heavy
that to
lifters coming young. Dreams. I love that beat.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting the Game to body that, because the Game is an acquired taste to me. He needs the right production to kind of encompass what he's doing. The raw production, it just sounds crazy to me. But
I told you my philosophy on Game, that him and Ross know they are like 3 mic MCs at best. So they know they need.
Ross is 3 mics.
I think Ross has got much better. I'll say that. When Ross first came out, I'm talking about like
The verse
Hustling.
came. Okay, yeah.
Like
I
when
didn't
Hustling
like him
came out, I
Yeah,
thought he was cool.
I would agree.
I felt like they know they needed big production.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe sometimes the MC or maybe Nas's caliber, like you said, you bought a record to listen to me. You know what I mean? So it's like Game and Ross always have incredible beats. You know what I mean? And I don't know, just my philosophy. I could be 100% wrong. Some niggas could be like, nah, nigga, I'm the best MC ever. What the fuck is you talking about? You know, and he just got a good ear to pick beats. But Dreams, yo, when that nigga came in with that Dreams of fucking R&B bitches like mine, when I seen that ass on the front of that, like, yo, over that beat, yo, that was crazy. And Game was just saying whatever, like anything's possible. 50 Funk Vivica. I'm like, yo, did that nigga really just say that shit? Like, that's one of them, like, did I say that out loud type moment? Like that was just a big song. Just a big song.
That's game. Last beat, I'm kind of torn, but I'm going with Last Call, man. I used to skip to the end of that CD just to hear that shit, man. Like, who thinks to cheers to the rock? And that's like, who? I gotta pull that up. Who thinks to put all of that together? It's your last song, and you end it with a 5-minute fucking story. But I'm still in that bitch like this. Yeah, like that. That showed. If nobody knew at that point, that showed his genius. Yeah, that he could do that, get away with it, and the shit was fire. I love that he was able to pull that off. Songs, I'm going with They Say.
Crazy.
We Major. We Major. When I first heard We Major, I stopped what I was doing and I played it like 4 or 5 times back.
That They Say with John.
They say. Oh,
that nigga say, please don't ever give me records I can't sample.
Listen, it's one of those. If you produce, you understand, because Kill, you said all the time your pocket is in like the high 80s. Mine is 88 to 92. And it's not just kick, snare. It's everywhere, but it's in time.
Right.
And you sitting there the whole time like this, you rocking. They say it's crazy. And John comes and just murders that shit.
But he murders that.
We Major, I don't have to say nothing about it. If you haven't heard it, just go play it. Just go play it.
We Major is crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy. That's a good one. Right?
Barry Bonds. Shout out to DJ B. Barry Bonds. That's one of his intros for one of his joints. Barry Bonds, when I heard it, I was like, okay. Then I'm like, hold up, Ye did this? And then Lil Wayne gets on it, and I'm already feeling the way. And then I'm like, oh shit, Lil Wayne spit. So I love that song. That's one of the joints like Kill, how you got like one of your joints you pull out. I'll pull out Barry Bonds on somebody when they
Kill
at me.
Another slept on Knots banger.
Yes. Let's go to the next one. Swagger Like Us.
Oh, nigga, slap on that.
Love that song. I didn't know what to expect, but I probably played it the majority of that summer.
That quietly ran the summer.
I was in San Antonio at the time, so I wasn't in the know at the time. I took a step back and unplugged, and
Yeah, any club you jumped in that summer, they was playing.
I unplugged though. I wasn't DJing or anything. I was preparing to do some other things. And then Spaceship. You know, the fact that they all are spitting. But the thing that I love about this song, and I might have should have put it in my production, but the time code, the 4/3 time code, like on an MP. The song is dope to me, man. It's just one of the joints that I bang consistently. I'll wait till honorable mention, but I got an honorable mention, John. I'll wait for that. But those are my 5.
All right. Favorite Ye album? A slept on Ye album.
Damn, is there a slept on Ye album?
Is it?
My favorite. Well, I mean, I got one. I'll just say best for y'all. I got a slept on one. This is one of those records people love me crazy for. My favorite Ye album is probably College Dropout, the bootleg. I keep going to the asterisks of the bootleg. You know what I mean? Because it just had Keep the Receipt with Old Dirty. It had the original Home. It had so many joints that didn't make the album. It had joints that made the final cut, but they were more demo versions, and I liked those better. Even the workout plan was
all
different.
Falls down with the sample.
All those things were different with that. Slept on. Nobody else likes this album but me, and I think his daughter. Like me and her, like only two people who like the life of Pablo.
That shit was crazy. That album was crazy.
I get it, Rack. I totally understand. You know me, man. Y'all, I
like
y'all.
one song on that album. I like one song.
I actually really like this album, Ultralight Beam, Father Stretched My Hands, Waves, FML, Real Friends, Wolves, No More Parties in LA that Madlib did. Like,
2 songs. My bad. 2 songs.
I really like this album. You know what I mean? To me, this is one, yeah. So I'll leave it at that. This is my slept on Ye. JR, what's your favorite Ye album?
Oh, absolutely, The College Dropout, for sure. Like when I got that, I remember getting it, and I played that joint in my room like crazy. That was before I went to college, so I was blasting that in my 60 CD disc changer, and I was jamming to that joint, and it just like, you know, because you know when your parents is not really rocking with what you are, but when you got, you know, my mom's coming in like, yo, who is this? He used this sample, he used this, it kind of connects us a little bit. So it was like, she was like, oh, he's using this sample, he's using this. So The College Dropout, from February, I got it the day it came out, and I literally rocked to that joint the whole year. So when he did win the album of the year at the Grammys, I was like, he should have. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For the rap album of the year, he should have. You know what I mean? Because the album was dope. But underrated album for me, I know people probably don't rock to it, but I rock the 808s and Heartbreaks for me.
I ain't gonna front, it's fine.
Right, like I'm the R&B head, so for me, he was singing all over it, but he was being creative to me. Like, he was in his creative bag, you know what I'm saying? And he was letting like Jeezy and Lil Wayne and all of them come in. Y'all rhyme, y'all do that. I'ma still, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say sing. I'm gonna say he was melodies. His melodies.
Harmonize. That's crazy.
Yeah, like he was harmonizing because he wasn't gonna say singing because Kanye wasn't singing at all. But you know, for me, that album is dope. But a lot of people kind of shit on it. To be honest, everybody kind of forget about it. They go from Graduation to Dark Twisted Fantasy. They kind of cut 808s, but I rock.
And the funny thing is, I get it. It's one of those things where I tell people I get it. You know, when people say Kill, I don't like West Side Gun, I get it. He's an acquired taste. His voice isn't for everybody. His flow isn't for everybody. So it's not one of those things that I understand why people don't like this album. You know, if you was ready for what was it? It was College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation. If you were waiting for Graduation yet, this isn't it. You know what I mean?
No,
this isn't it. So I get it, but I knew this is after Ye died. His mom's died. So I knew that Ye was going to
girlfriend, the Beyonce dipped on him and all that.
So when he's talking about, we say something about my man is showing me pictures of his kids and all, I could show him his pictures of my crib.
Word. That was deep.
Like, I knew it was gonna be some real shit on here. And then I've heard people call these beats trash, and I said, yo, what is it? Say You Will? I said,
you will. How you open with that?
Niggas had Sade singing over Say You Will, niggas be losing their fucking mind. So again, I get it. Ye ain't Sade, but when people say the beats are trash, I'm like, I just always like to decipher what people are saying. Like, the beats aren't trash. Maybe you don't like the song, maybe you don't like the auto-tune, but the beat itself isn't trash. I mean, So Amazing, that was one of Nate's first songs that she could just be singing in the back seat. You know, So Amazing was crazy with Yeezy. So, I mean, with Jeezy. So yeah, very slept on out. Trey, what about you? Fave Ye joint?
I mean, it's hard for me to pick a fave out of them first three in my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, those four. He got one of the best trilogies of all time with them first three.
Yeah.
Like, you stack them trilogies up against anybody's, and it stands hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to pick a favorite, man. Shit. But if we pulling if we pulling teeth, then I guess so is my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, is that underrated?
I personally don't think. I think it's a 5 mic album, but I know people who don't like it. So it can. I feel like anything after Graduation falls into this middle ground. You got some people who are like, that was trash. No, it was 5 Mic Classic. Then you got some people that was like, 808 is trash. You got people like me, Jay, on our mid saying like, no, that shit was crazy. So I think after graduation, depending on who you ask, it could be slept on. True. Somebody else could say, that shit is 5 Mic Classic. What you talking about slept on? So I think that's the thing with Ye.
So my beautiful dark twisted fantasy is teetering on my favorite, but I hold it for underrated because I don't even think people realize how dope that album is. That album is.
I know that shit's crazy.
He was on some shit. I mean, and it goes beyond like that hunger. Like, you know, with the first, especially with the first one, it's the hungry thing. It's the, you know, I'm gonna give it all I got with this first one. You know what I'm saying? So for him to come back, you know, 5 albums later and create my dark twisted fantasy, that's why I'm gonna just leave it with that, because that shit, top to bottom, is it's immaculate, man.
No, you could just talk about Blame Game. Like the shit that he's talking about, and then to have Chris Rock come in at the end with the Yeezy taught me, bro. That's what I love about he's gonna wear his heart on his sleeve. If him and Amber break up, we gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk all about it. You know what I mean? So, and then to have Chris Rock come in, it's like, yo, the Blame Game and John Legend singing the court, man, come on, man.
And think about it, it was on the heels of 808s, right?
Right.
So after, this is the 808s is the critically acclaimed album. This is where he actually shifted music with 808s album. Yeah. That 808 is the precursor to what we're hearing now.
Indeed.
The joint with Ray and Kid Cudi, like, come on, man. Like,
right.
You got Ray on this shit, my nigga. Like,
so again, 808. I mean, my beautiful dark twisted fantasy is probably for both. It might be my favorite, and I think it's the most underrated album that he has in his fucking discography. Period.
All right, no doubt. Amir, what you got, brother?
For me, I think his most underrated album is Ye.
You know what? I was gonna say that again. I feel like, well, now it's me, you, and Kim are the only 3 people who like that album, because I like it.
Listen, and this is it's underrated. I'm not saying I love it more than I love it, is what I'm about to tell you, because I don't really have. Right. I will say for me, it's between my beautiful dark twisted fantasy and late registration, when he had this crack music, nigga. It's that black music, nigga. George Bush, he know the answers. Come on, my nigga.
Play that shit at ignorant level.
He said, play that shit. Come on. We can't forget about late registration. This shit had crack music.
Oh, no. And again, please don't think I'm picking College Dropout like easily. Like, yo, College Dropout, late registration, or graduation.
Yo, those 3 is like.
Yeah, and I'm talking about from artwork, and he had them beats in the stash probably like RZA did for the Wu-Tang, nigga. That nigga had them he had them shits planned out. There's no way a nigga, like, he had at least the idea or the core of those projects, like written in a little his phone somewhere, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this second shit on these niggas like this. It was no way, nigga, because when I listen, like, I ain't gonna front, that dark twisted fantasy, when you got niggas in the barbershop I was in, these niggas was bumping that shit like it was a fucking clue tape, top to bottom, and you better not skip nothing. Day in, day out, and you talk about hood niggas.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Kanye, it was almost like when Drake said the streets and the backpackers gonna have to get along now, because once Ye was able to make, he was able to make this bridge between these 2 worlds, right? And once he built that bridge, a lot of other artists walked across it, the J. Cole's, the Kendricks.
Yeah.
They not paying homage. Yeah. A lot of niggas walk from backpacker land straight in the mainstream. Like, he built that bridge for niggas. Like, he made niggas feel cool to go to Soho, go to Kif, go to Atrium, go downtown. If he ain't make it cool, niggas from New York, I'm gonna keep it, I gotta say what it is. A lot of niggas was doing that shit, but once he put it on the spotlight on it, it became what is now supreme culture.
I can say it now.
I can say it
Even
now.
though I was doing it, I can actually say it.
Yeah, because they keep it a buck.
Soho had a lot of the hood down there for
Yes,
real.
that's a fact. I was down there. Nigga. There's a lot of fly shit out there. There's a lot of fly shit going on. And to keep it a buck, and to keep it furthermore a buck, bro. And I know this is not about him. Pharrell didn't get his flowers because he actually is the oracle in the matrix to these niggas with that fly street shit.
Yeah.
Nah, yo, bro, there's a time that people act like it didn't exist when Pharrell first came out and he had the mustache. Like niggas like, yo, who this gay nigga? Why y'all fucking with this gay nigga like that? Nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to talk about that. That was what was going on. People act, if you was into hip hop, he was like, yo, why Jay fucking with this gay nigga? Why is this nigga skateboard? Then somehow, some way, it was a Men in Black moment. It's like, oh, he's not gay no more. He shaved the mustache. He don't look like a child molester. Now Pharrell is the shit. But niggas would say, I know me and my niggas wasn't the only fucking people in the entire world. Like
about to roast that nigga, but I ain't
exactly.
front.
Like, yo, this your man? This your man?
But
like,
if you think about it, what Ye did, Pharrell carved out the lane. Ye built the bridge, and these other niggas walked across it.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Pharrell was one of the first abstract, eclectic niggas from the hood that was doing shit. He normalized doing awkward shit with jewelry on.
Yeah.
He never went backpacker. That nigga went straight to the bag.
Yep.
right.
That's a fact.
You're
He
right.
didn't have. Pharrell was too fly. He had to look. The bitches is on him. Excuse my language. They was on this nigga. He had to fly shit.
Yep.
He, little tiny ass nigga with the big ass. Come on, my nigga.
Big ass bathing
Big
ape
ass,
chain.
big
Way
ass,
more than he
big, come on, my nigga. Niggas was out. Niggas is lying if they say Pharrell was, and then Ye saw that shit. He was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna take a little piece of this DNA, and I'm gonna do. You know what he did, babe? I'm gonna do Polo." But if you think about it, all of these little things niggas was doing, they was taking from other shit. Pooh, all them other niggas.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that.
Exactly.
Let's keep it funky. Because it was
no.
a list. It was a list of fly niggas that had did it. But like I said, he had the biggest light, and he just did like this, click the button, click, and the flashlight was on, and now everybody, oh.
Yep.
But he pioneered that shit. That's a fact. That's a super fact.
Brett, what you got for your fave Ye album?
My favorite Ye album is probably gonna be Late Registration, but it's tied with Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I listen to those two the most out of the discography. But I'm gonna say if I got a slept on one, so this is what I'll do. I'll choose for the sake of choosing. Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is probably my favorite, but I think Late Registration is slept on.
Explain yourself with that, please.
Really?
All right. So yes.
I was hoping somebody would.
So yeah, he's got the Gold Digger, and he's got all of these other big songs off of this album. But you go right into the next album, and nobody ever goes back to that second album to catch the bangers. He's got the big songs, the abstract shit, and the boom bap all wrapped in one, and it's a fire ass album. But then you go, the next album is Graduation. And then after that, like it just keeps fucking going. So you end up having to go back to it. He didn't have a sophomore jinx, but I think it just got overlooked because people just kept going.
You know what it's like? It's like the middle child.
Correct. You don't realize the middle child got something to say until they smack you in your fucking mouth. And they 18, 19 years old, and you not paying them any mind.
Who's that joint on that Brady movie? Marsha. Everybody was talking about Marsha. Like, what about Jan? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, Amir said it best. Like, crack music? Come on, man. I will beg
That's
that.
my shit.
Yo, man, touch the sky. Touch the sky.
Touch the sky is a
The
monster.
joint with my shit is the joint with Brandy.
Yes, that
Bring
is
Me Down.
not My Way Home, but Bring Me Down. Yes, which
Bring Me
led
Down.
into
Your
them
girl
doing
don't
the
like
music
me.
video.
How long has she been gay? Like,
correct. Like, boom bapish, but to the left, and it's like, yo, this shit is crazy, and it just, I think people glazed over it. They took it for what it was, and it was fire. But if we had this conversation with 5 other people, they're probably not going to talk about this album. They're going to talk about the first album, They're gonna talk about Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, 808s and Heartbreaks, and Graduation.
Yeah.
They're not gonna talk about Late Registration.
That's
and that
true.
shit is complete.
Let
You
Late
can put it up.
Registration. You heard him say on there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's heard him say, Touch the Sky, Gold Digger, Drive Slow, My Way Home, Crack Music, Roses,
Wait, home.
Addiction is my
Bring Me
joint.
Down, Addiction, Diamonds, We Major, Hey Mama,
Major.
Celebration, Gone, and
Gone
Bonus
is
Tracks.
my shit with Cam, man.
Yes.
Ooh.
That
Yes.
Gone joint.
That's a sleeper.
my shit.
That's a sleeper because the beat is simple, and Cam is not
Man.
doing his computer's booting shit. He's rapping.
Yo, Cam, man,
He's
that
rapping.
shit, man.
Computers booting, Trey.
Yo, Cam
I
went
love
in on
Cam
that.
though. I fucking love Cam.
All right,
But
let's
those-
do this.
those
So,
are my two joints.
all right, we've spent the first hour talking about Ye. Do you think there's a since we're talking about the rise and fall of Ye, where do you think it started to go downhill for Ye? Now this is the intriguing part because me and Trey were talking about, did it really go downhill because the nigga almost a billionaire? You know what I mean? So, but when did you start to see? I mean, we've all seen it, we've heard it. We want the old Kanye, you know, like that. That's, and again, maybe it's just amongst us boom bappers, us hip hoppers, you know, maybe pop music. Like, hey, we like whatever Kanye say, but we all know the catchphrase, "I want the old Kanye back." You know what I mean? Where do you think? Oh, you know what? I totally forgot this joint. It's a nice slept on album right there. It's called The Late Orchestration.
Yes.
It's live at Abbey Road.
Yes.
That's a live album. So Late Orchestration, very dope live concert. So I wanted to shout that out. For me, I think the downfall for Ye began when his mother passed away. I think as soon as his mom passed away, it seemed to start going downhill from there. His mom's passed away in 07. You know, and you know, 09 was when he showed up at the MTV Awards with Amber Rose drunk, had the Henny in his hand. That's when he went on stage and Taylor Swift got the award, and he was like, you know, Taylor Swift, you know, don't deserve this award. It just seemed like, you know, and again, I have no idea. This is only what my imagination is that, you know, his mom's is dying from complications of plastic surgery that she probably wouldn't have been able to get if he wasn't Kanye. So I know if that was me, that would have hit home even more, almost on some shit like I killed my mom's. You know what I mean? Or it's my fault somehow, some way. And again, I don't know, maybe he doesn't feel that way, but I know for me, that's probably how I would have felt. So I felt like that's what, I don't want to say the downhill spiral, but I could see a change in Ye. He says on FML off of The Great Life of Pablo, he said, ain't never seen nothing crazier than this nigga when he's off his Lexapro. And Lexapro is an antidepressant. You know what I mean? So he's letting you know, you ain't never seen nothing crazier than this. And, you know, I'm grateful I haven't lost my mother or my father yet. My wife has. You know, I know a lot of people who have, and I know that they can have a very harsh effect on you, you know, and life isn't the same after that. So I don't want to say downfall. I can say I saw a change in Ye after his mom's passed away. JR, again, I don't know if it's a downfall, if it's a change. I don't know how to word it, but when did you see, you know, the Ye change happen? I know a lot of people say when he put on that red hat with Trump, or, you know, different things like that. So where do you think it began at, or you started to see that break?
I agree with you. I think is when his mom passed, because Kanye was always Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was always that dude. He was always that outspoken dude. When he said that George Bush don't like black people, his mother was still living. So it was like, here's the thing.
I will say this about that George Bush don't like black people. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that. To me, that's the most gangster thing in hip hop. I don't care about NWA shooting 50 people. I don't care about Game getting shot, 50 getting shot, Conway getting shot. The most gangster thing in hip hop is to get on television on a Katrina relief concert on NBC next to fucking Mike Myers.
Yeah.
And say George Bush don't care about black people. Because that is what
Mike Myers looked at.
Mike Myers' whole paper.
Yeah, Mike
he
Myers
was like,
Are we live? But do you know the amount that it takes to do some shit like that? And I got another question after we go through this, because like, why can't Ye get canceled? Because at some time or point, I feel like he should have been canceled by everybody.
I can tell you that.
I got the answer to that too.
Okay, we can start right now, because here's
No.
We did it.
All right, Frenchman will come back.
Pretty much all of us got the same answer.
All right, so when his mom died, everybody's kind of that's when the break happened, when his mom died. That's you, Trey.
Nah.
Okay.
That's for me. Like when his mom passed, you can see the change happen, because I felt like his mom was kind of the one that kind of had a little bit of control of him, a little bit, that could kind of be like, yo, Omari, you wildin'. You know what I mean? Like, chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else can kind of have that, but she did. But once she passed, and then he lost his fiance at the same time, it was like you saw that change in him. You know what I mean? Like, he was outspoken, but he really got outspoken, and that's why he started hitting. You know, when he got with Amber Rose, and then he went on the VMAs and was drunk, and you know what I'm saying. Even though I agree with him, but at the end of the day, it was like
most people don't get up actually on the stage. I mean, I don't know if anybody agrees with half the awards, but this nigga really got up on stage and said on live TV.
Right. I mean, the Henny must have hit him right, because
that was like a little mama moment when Jay and Alicia Keys were performing in New York, and little mama just got up on stage after, like, you know, I was just feeling the vibe, like, we at home, like,
took that too far, yo. Like, you're right.
Yeah,
like it was, but yeah, I mean, you saw the change then, and it was just like he had nobody, you know what I mean, and it was just like it was open season, you know what I'm saying, and then after that, it was just like. I don't think it was a downhill for Kanye, because everybody still rock with him now. So I think the change happened when his mom died. So,
what you think, Trey?
I agree with y'all when you was talking about a change in him. Definitely when his mom died. I recall going to Vegas for and I don't know. Well, I know how I got in here, but I didn't really belong in here. But Rue had hooked me up with some tickets to a private show in Vegas. I think this was New Year's 2014, some shit like that. And I, kind of finagle my way backstage while Jay and Beyonce's on the stage performing. I kind of got through and shit, because everybody tuxed out. I had on my shit, so it's supposed to be like a little, so you can kind of maneuver if you play the part. So I got back there, and Kanye had the mic. And, he was getting ready to jump on stage. And the nigga had the gold fangs in his mouth and shit. And I looked at it, right? I got close enough where it was just me and him underneath this joint before he gets out to the stage. And I said, yo, what's good, man? I said, it's Trey Lee. And he looked up, and I saw his eyes. And the nigga was just gone. Like, he was physically there, but I could see it in his eyes. He was gone. You know what I'm saying? And at that moment is when I realized, because when your mother, like, I can't even imagine my mother passing away, right? But I can understand, like, if your mother passes away, dog, like, that's some shit that you got to deal with, like, and not just for the moment. You got to deal with that shit forever. You know what I'm saying? According, and it also depends on your relationship, right? But for the most part, you know what I mean? So I think there was a change in him when his mother died, and a lot of things that he had to deal with internally. But when you talk about a downfall, I think that's something different. Downfall to me, especially with our community, is when that nigga said slavery was a choice, but it was brief.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It was brief because it was us, and we are forgiving people. So all it took was him to do something or time. With us, it's about time. You wait it out just a little bit, and then we start to warm up again. We forget about all the other shit, you know what I'm saying? We don't hold, for the most part, we don't really hold grudges like that, for the most part. So for a moment, when that motherfucker said slavery was a choice, or we was, what, nigga? Are you kidding me? Da 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 da. But then we found out this nigga was worth $1 billion. Then it was like, especially for those that are, you know, into that. Oh, this nigga's worth $1 billion. You can't tell him nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
it's funny. It's funny that you say that, Trey, because I feel like we're forgiven if you make dope ass music. Because
oh hell yeah.
If somebody, not just dope music,
but if you make dope music,
right? You laugh about dead ass, like it's like niggas ain't forgiven. We
because I ain't ready. Look, you're absolutely
you know?
right. All I'm gonna say is like the Boondocks. That's all I'm saying.
Like niggas was like, yo, we heard all the allegations, but niggas was like, I need to see here's a picture. I need a video. Here's a video. I need a documentary. It's like, oh, okay, shit. I can't have this nigga no more. Now, if that shit was I'll even take it to me. I'll diss myself. If R. Kelly was Myron, okay, right after the first motherfucking allegation, that nigga dead. And ain't nobody checking back. But because it was R. Kelly and he got bump and grind and 12 play and all that other shit, it was like, okay, we gonna just wait it out. But let that shit would have been Chico DeBarge. That shit would have been canceled and ain't nobody forgiving Chico no time soon.
Not Jail Sweet Willie.
He's right. Or if we're worth a lot of money. Because that's the ultimate equalizer. Oh, well, this nigga got $1 billion for us. Oh, this nigga got $1 billion. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. That's how we think.
$7 billion.
Yeah,
Ooh.
right.
And the great thing is, Trey, you're 100% right, because I have forgotten about Dr. Dre and all his women beating allegations. You know, from B Barnes, from all that stuff, but he sold headphones for $40 billion.
Apple. He does that deal with Apple. It's over.
We so forgiving. He wrote that shit out the movie and we ain't say nothing.
Right. Now, let that shit have been DJ Yella. That nigga is answering. Yella's a woman beater? Fuck that nigga Yella. I never liked him in the first place. Dre a woman beater, the nigga who made Deep Cover? You sure? Like, did we see Deep Barnes? Like we
have it on tape
places. So
But I think if you think about it though, if you in addition to it, bro, like not only we forgiving, like you said, like in the barbershop philosophy is what I call it for us, right? And it's everything y'all got said. We have absolutely normalized one thing that's fucking crazy to me is when nigga got money though. Yep. No matter what he did, he got that bread though. I call it in the barbershop, bro. When dudes pull up to the shop, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Dudes pull up to the shop, whip crazy, chain hanging. You see the way he don't get out the car. That nigga kind of like fall out the car, coming to the shop, sneakers unlaced and shit with the basketball shorts and the tee on in the summer. You see the picture.
Come on.
How many y'all got? Every barber in the shop look back like, look at what we scanned what the nigga got on.
Yeah.
He walk out, nigga like, yo, you know that nigga?
Yep.
He got that bag. Look like he got that bag.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like the bag is justification for all types of fuckery.
Facts.
During the pandemic, I've watched fake niggas on fucking Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram galore. We don't check credentials. As long as they got the money, we think money equals to intelligence or power.
Come on.
Right? Yep. So because we think money equals intelligence or power, not luck, especially when you're dealing with manufactured celebrity combined with good luck and relationships where they know that you are a pawn. Let me tell y'all something. Just food for thought. I mean, I know everybody has intelligence. I like these type of. If Kanye West worth 7 to 9 billion, how much you think these white boys worth?
Facts.
It was trillionaires made during the time he made. Bro, the joke is this. Homeboy from Facebook, Zuckerberg, lost $7 to $9 billion when Facebook crashed in a day. He didn't even flinch.
Nope.
Yes.
He lost in half a day what Kanye been worth for 20 years. So let's do the math.
Talk about it.
Right?
Talk about it.
So because of that.
Did you have love?
I'm about to go get a spit, bro. I had to grab a drink.
So when we really think about it's love, man. When we really think about it, black approval has always been for sale. Yeah. To the highest bidder. right? Even ourselves, if a man got that money, he got that money though, man. It's like we almost, damn, he got that money though. Like, why is it he got that money though? Always the baseline reason for us about the premise for us even thinking about giving forgiveness to someone who's absolutely disgusting. I'm not saying Ye is that.
Right. I know
But the horror, the atrocities that we've seen in our neighborhoods and all that other shit, will let a nigga rock, like you said, because he got that money or he down with so-and-so. It's always some like political power ties or money involved in the forgiveness process, because you know what? I think deep down inside, and this is this innate thing in our community, we feel like we might need them for something. And that something is always either money or a favor. Because what do we tell each other in the black community? Nigga ain't never did nothing for me. But we know what that shit really means.
Yep.
I can't call you for no bread, or I can't call you for no favor, because you ain't never did nothing for me. So can you imagine how many niggas on that nigga Kanye Hills that he did shit for? Yeah. I'm not even gonna get into it, because I know other like certain shit, but I will say this: everybody in that circle is straight.
Same here.
And that's an agreement. If he's giving Beans $50 million, what you think he giving them niggas he cool with?
Yep.
These niggas driving around in Bentley trucks and all kinds of fly shit that he had to gift it, because I have to gift it to you, or else I'm gonna get chewed up in taxes.
Right.
Yep.
His fight is different now. First of all, he's the freest black. He's the freest.
Hold on, man. Say
Yes,
that
sir.
again. The gifting and the taxes. This shit is not.
They don't
just,
get it.
Just cause.
Yeah,
It's out of the goodness of his heart.
He trying to beat them boys. He gotta beat them.
Right. That's
At
right.
And
this
even
level,
Kill, I ain't gonna take it all crazy, but I'm just saying,
bro, go.
Bro, I'm just saying.
My man wants to
I'm just saying though, bro. In these dilemmas, man, like he actually is the freest black man on the planet Earth.
Yep.
But he's also the most sought after and most probably feared, and he's probably the most scared black man on the planet Earth.
Yep.
When a nigga tell you he living out his backpack, what you think that really? It ain't because he want to do that. Because if he has a home address, it's easy to spot him and got him.
Yep.
That nigga can go live anywhere for the rest of his life in any hotel. You never know where he live. I ain't got an address. This book bag is my house, nigga.
Yep.
He's sending the message. That is to me. That's dog whistle politicking. He's talking to other powers when he said that shit.
Absolutely.
That has nothing to do with what he's having conversations in front of us. That the shit is so encrypted. He's talking to 5 different groups of niggas at one time.
Talk about it.
That half of us can't decrypt because the nigga, bro, you worth $7 to $9 billion. Your problem is different. You get on the text, you tell the nigga that put you on, look, I'm richer than everybody in this text, all right? Like, that's disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't gonna front. He has these moments where he peaks in genius, and then he has these moments where he's totally absent of emotional IQ. And that's the scary part about our brother, because the nigga's volatile when he get emotional.
But that's narcissism. You dig me?
Covert narcissism and public facing narcissism.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
So
man, what you said in your rhyme, you said something, I gotta forget that nigga. You said it on 21 grams. You
Ye found God, so I gotta forgive him.
Yeah.
Ye said slavery was a choice. I don't agree with the nigga. Was lost but found God, so I gotta forgive him.
Right.
Now, I don't have heaven and hell for him, and sometimes I think in our community we think we got heaven and hell for niggas, but we don't. We want to be judge and jury, and swift to judgment. But when it's one of us on the table, you want, yo man, but I was just, you know, right, bro. And I was telling niggas, look at in a 24-month time period, we done created so much dumb shit. We don't know who's in charge of cancel culture. I heard y'all talk. I didn't even chime in on it. I wanted to say that you can't cancel a nigga who makes people so much money if you. They gotta set this cancellation up. This cancellation gotta go through government. It gotta go through policy. It gotta go through motherfucking divestitures, property, all kinds of shit. You can't cancel a nigga with. He can't cancel a nigga.
Nope.
You can't get.
This is your clip right here.
No. I told you, cover free tithes and offerings. We can get the collection
You know
plate.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, bro, like, and then you have people salivating at the mouth for opportunity.
Yep.
So imagine, we see the Kanye and artists like him with Black Billy, the richest black man in America. That's crazy. And he don't care. He said, white boy, sit down while I'm talking. Niggas start talking like that. That's a code, bro. He's sending darts at people.
Yep.
That's a fact. He knows He said, yo, they might get me through the toe. Niggas, I'm listening to the other shit.
When he said that, I was like, oh shit.
He said he kept saying it to niggas.
He said it like 4 times.
Like 4 times. They might kill me, man, for the shit I'm telling y'all. Because the rooms he's in.
But here's where I don't know if you agree or disagree. I think he's covered. That's why
I agree. No, but I agree because he's making too much.
Yes.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, if he's covered, but he's covered until one of them 4 families.
One person off.
Yeah, he pissed off one of the 4 families.
There you go. I didn't know if he was gonna talk on it, but there you go.
You know what I'm saying? If he pissed off one of them 4 families, he's out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, right? or becomes expendable.
Because think about it. If those, like, you know, bro, I was talking to Pete about this. I said, bro, why would a nigga like Ye need Def Jam or anybody in the music business? This nigga has the power right now to forever change the conversations our kids will have and grandchildren and family will have forever by a stroke. If he not him in a group of people, the J's, the minds, the lawyers, and the people that run artistry, bro. Because I've been having this conversation with niggas like I said, there's a facade going on. It's just merging like this. It's like this cataclysmic fucking thing happening between art and technology, and it's never going back.
Yep.
Labels are obsolete. They just marketing brands now. Like, what the fuck? You don't need if I know Spotify and these other niggas, bro. 10 years ago, you would have never been able to do this on television. You literally have your own television network, Apartment 5B, and you're rocking. Where was this possible?
Yep. Right.
So art and technology have created these outlets, and we keep handing the shit over to people to ask them for permission to do our culture.
Our own shit.
Since the beginning.
Nobody else comes to us and asks us to do them ever. You don't see Asians coming to black labels and say, yo, what you think about us? Jews, anybody. Nobody comes to us for permission, but we always run into people for what? For a check.
Yep. We fought to take this culture downtown.
Yep. Word, right? Exactly. You know what they say to us? He got that money though.
Yep.
And we get around each other. Yeah, nigga, but I got the bag. Nigga can be ignorant as a motherfucker, but I got this bread though. Broke ass nigga. We heard all of this shit. Broke ass nigga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's real.
I always tell people that was the whole thing with Puff with the hate. Like y'all hate. And it was like, yo, we I don't want to be a hater. So yeah, we love you, Puff. I don't want to be. Y'all just hating because y'all broke and we rich. And that was he
created a force field.
The division.
Right. Yeah, well, he created a force field, and even further, Trey, I'm gonna add to that. He created palatable classism.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That was our first taste of palatable classism, and you just take it because that's just the way it is. No, it's not.
Yep.
It's not. And when they meet people that know the difference, bro, they get terrified because now.
They don't let me in the rooms no more.
They don't let me in the room.
Yeah,
you know how many
bullshit.
Bro, you know how many arguments. And I'm not going to ask you to censor this because I know Pete be getting on you like, yo,
no,
man,
no, don't censor none of this. This is what
I'm saying to y'all, I was in conversations with niggas in 2016 talking about art and technology. I see niggas that I was in studios with get up there faking like they blockchain experts, all this dumb shit. And I told my brother, I said, listen, man, first chance I get, I'm coming in there with the Nicolas Cage fat guns. 2 golden guns of facts. Loaded, cocked, and ready to aim because we need to check each other's credentials because that's how we make each other sharper.
Yes.
And they think and we pass the shit now where they think artists is dumb. No, niggas ain't dumb. There's a whole vanguard of new artists and Trey, guys like you and Kill. Yeah, to me, this is just in my hip hop euphoria. Or some form of nirvana, guys like you should be running the management companies because you know how they gonna try to come for dudes. Mm-hmm. Consultation companies and shit like that. Because why we always running back to people who don't understand us to ask for permission?
Right. They've been conditioned. Conditioned.
Bro, that shit is spooky to me. That shit is spooky to me. That shit's spooky to me, bro. I don't. It's spooky, and I'm telling you now. If you remember this day, you see me in 2022. Watch what happens. I'm telling. I'm not. You already know what type of time I'm on.
I'm with all.
You know what type of time I'm on. I'm just saying, all of that shit we've been doing, you know, the senseless, all of this shit that we just absolutely just accept and keep rocking with it and kumbaya for 36 hours and back to the bullshit.
I ain't with it.
Come on, bro. There got to be a point in time where it stops. And if it doesn't stop, we're gonna get stopped or be put. Bro, I'm gonna say it, man. Fuck it. The black man, to me, and this is not no Malcolm X moment. This is a fact moment. I'm having I'm sweating. I'm sweating like a preacher. I'm sweating like a preacher. Listen,
you preaching, baby. That's why.
I've been telling niggas, bro. The black man has the most we are the most underappreciated mammal on the planet. We've been running for thousands of years. I told you this last night, Kill. We've been running for thousands of years with no break, with a foot on your neck. Yep. We normalized the foot on our neck. We born with that shit, and now each one I can see the foot on all my brothers' necks, right? Mm-hmm. And because it's so normal, I can look at you and tell what your day was like. Yeah, bro, you know what I tell you? Swear it is. You know how we got to do? Oh, you got to go to extra shit. You know, you got to do it a little different because of this. No, but why? We don't get a break. We don't get nothing. No, we got to create our breaks. So when we see somebody in the position to create not only a break for a moment, but a break forever, you got to attack it, and you got to be strategic and not emotional.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So now we dealing with a bunch of emotional ass grown men, traumatized grown men, trauma bonded grown ass men with their women and each other, trying to give counsel to niggas, and they broken and fucked up in the head. And this is forever going to be cyclical, because there's no part-time solution for a lifetime disease.
Y'all.
Nah, bro, keeping it a fact. I'm just saying what
I deal as fast as 21 grams going down right here. We're past the man in the pulpit.
That's actual. I'm glad my cup is full.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, I'm just saying. It's crazy.
Ooh,
bro. We tired.
I don't want to talk over me.
Nah, but it's love though. But it's love though, because and then we taught not to say we tired.
Correct. You gotta chalk it up. I deal with that space every day in the city I'm in. I'm not gonna say what city I'm in. If you know, you know. You hit the nail on the head from a standpoint of boys who are expected to be men but are raised by women who are emotional, and they don't know how to balance the two, which is why we have the violence at the alarming rate we have it at. And in my line of work, you know, it's Amir, you know, you've been there. You got a DD214. You know what it is. It's alphas all day, every day. Mm-hmm. You got your betas over here, but you know it's alpha men every day, all day. We share life. I get phone calls 2 days in the training. I can't because they're not prepared to deal. Just based on what you said. When you said that shit hit home for me, because I deal in that every day. Every day, the same way we all deal in that same space to where we have to shut certain face. It is alive and well and thriving in every major city in the black community in America.
That's fact. And furthermore, to add to that, bro, what I think is one of the biggest diseases in our community, you have, and I'm not judge or jury, we have there is a plethora of underdeveloped people with overdeveloped ideas of who they are. And these people are out here in positions of
power.
They power, and these are the ones they put in front of microphones, and they manufacture their success.
Yes.
Because they know the damage that it causes is cyclical.
It's going to perpetuate everything. It's going to
it'll
all down, because if I tell you're good, and I keep paddling on you on your ass, and then when you meet a motherfucker like me who tells you, nah, man, your shit stinks, you think I'm fucking crazy. Because you've been told
you hate
your whole life.
I'm hating on me.
You've been told your whole life that you are a said thing, and that is not the case.
But Kill, that's why this whole conversation is important and can't be edited. What is edited? Because real rap. Because of the fact that, like, I've been looking for, and I knew y'all were here already, but these are the people they need to see. This is the language that they need to hear. You understand what I'm saying? Because of what you just said, man, and what you just said, Rec. Because if you go in there by yourself, isolated, amongst a bunch of people that have already been brainwashed, then they're going to think that you're the crazy one. Where if you form Voltron, is what we're doing right now, even with this conversation, it's like, oh, Mir's not by himself with this shit. Rec's not by himself with this shit. Trey Lee's on board, JR's on board, Kill's on board, and there's many more other people like us that have, that if we form Voltron and have these kind of conversations for people to hear and see, then you even the playing field.
Yep. That's a fact. Yeah.
And that's a good you on that. That's you, baby.
That's all you,
fact.
man.
That's y'all, man. Listen, I got my preacher napkin and shit. I'm here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was just about to say, bro, you better tell everything, man. Yo, I think for people watching, this when you hear me say things like you got to make way, you have to step out the way and let God come in. You see what I'm saying? And these are times like this, because I know somebody at home is like, "Where's Kanye?" This is more important than Kanye. It's just that sparked the conversation for a more important conversation, and just about how I say that God works, because everybody was calling out today. Eddie hit me like, last minute, I can't make it. Fort Burn, everybody. At first, it was just me, Trey, and JR. And then the mayor hit me. I'm like, yo, jump on with us. You know what I mean? And so again, it's just, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe God has everything planned out. So I do believe the people watching need to hear this. Prayerfully, you'll take it in. But, it's the importance of, you don't see too many times when you can find 5 intelligent black men on a platform who are going to be speaking intelligently. And that's what I've always wanted Apartment 5B to be. I always wanted to be somewhere where you left learning something. I tell people, if you want a podcast with people arguing, this ain't it. If you want a podcast with people being disrespectful to each other, this ain't it. If you want that Howard Stern shit, that's cool. That's just not here. You know what I mean? So nah, man, yo, you definitely get the tithes and offerings this week, bro, because that's the important piece of, and just to bring it all the way back of why Ye can't be canceled. You know what I mean? Because coming into this show, and this is why I love the show, and I love my pastor always taught me, keep smarter people around you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You know what I mean? So I love you guys for everything that you bring, but I really was wondering on the way home, like, why can't Ye be canceled? Like, this dude said George Bush don't care about black people, so you would think the white racist Republicans would be like, it's over for dude, get rid of him. He gets on stage with Taylor Swift, which is like, you look up white woman in the dictionary, it's Taylor Swift, and he says on stage, you ain't deserve this award, a black woman did, so why haven't the rest of white folk killed them? You're on stage with a Trump hat on, and like Trey said, you're saying slavery was, a choice. You should have definitely been canceled. You should have been canceled by every place you could find, yet the sneakers are still $650. He's still selling out arenas.
Even a different lane, yo.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you something, man.
And you guys have broken that down for me, because I'm really driving home like, yo, how is this dude even still able to make a sneaker? Like,
And the deep part about it, man, and not to put my brother 88 even in the conversation, is my relationship with 88 Kids is live a couple blocks away. We hang out all the time, and
it's a dope dude.
Yo, super cool guy, man.
Yeah.
And I was in the
brilliant mind.
Yeah, very
people party, and that was probably my favorite episode.
Yeah, let me tell you something. And that's who he is, right? So when we're around each other, we always have these joust matches, right? Of sorts. So we was riding to the record store. I got the records back here, still in the bag that I got when I went with him digging one day, like 3 weeks ago. I don't even got no beats, but I fucking said, fuck it, I'll dig with AB in here. Fuck it, I'll buy some records. And I asked him, I said, bro, what do you think? Primarily I was just asking him, like, yo, what is the greatest thing the lesson you learned about being around your brother? That's your best friend. Yeah, he's your best friend. And I said, yo, man, I was talking about money and power. He said, man, I just basically, this, man, I done seen some shit. When he said that, it's my blackness understood. I don't need him to decrypt that. I know what that meant.
Right.
I done seen some shit. I said, man. And it wasn't like he says it was a secret, just what people would do to get close to money and power. And him being able to see it and the wisdom he gains from it. So it's scary, bro, to be in those seats, and those dudes are in those rooms, and they really have to try to maneuver, and it's a different fight.
I got a question then, piggybacking off of what you said. Is there anybody in this particular discussion right now that would want to be in Kanye's shoes?
I personally wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
No,
because y'all just said he's feared. I mean, he's scared as a black man. Like, he got on
He's free,
like,
but
he's free, but he's still scared, because y'all said he got on his backpack, and that's like his house. Like, I don't want to walk around and be like that. Like he can't. He's free, but he's not comfortable.
I heard two definitive no's. I heard two definitive no's.
This is what I know. What I'll say. I would need to have a direction of what I'm trying to do to bring others along with me before I even would put myself in that type of space from a knowledge standpoint. To have that much power, that much freedom, you can't just sit on it. You got to do something with it. And
it's funny you say that, Brett, because it makes me think about the song. No one man should have all this power.
It's funny. You said it.
Yeah, I mean, like when you said that, it's like, yo, Ye is. It's funny because what a man says, like, Ye is telling you what the fuck is going on. You know,
He
back, like he said, no one man should have all this power, and it's like one of those. Trey, I feel like it's like that question, like, yo, would you want to be Luke Skywalker? Like, you're a Jedi, you can walk on water.
That's a fact.
I don't want none of that pressure, dog.
Power come a lot of responsibility.
Bro,
you ain't ready for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know if I would want to be in his shoes, but I wouldn't run from some of the responsibilities that come with it, because I feel like in my head and my heart, bro, that I've been groomed to handle certain pockets that come with it, but not the total lens of what I don't know. It's blind spots in that shit that I don't have the experience to say I can navigate. Yeah. But do I have a sense of self with some of those? If you know, and I don't even want to say if I was him, because that's passive aggressive and condescending as fuck, right? But I would say for me, in a position of influence and having the money to maneuver, I'm moving out the US. Number one, y'all niggas gonna have to catch me somewhere, remote. I'll just send y'all a blip or something, like bloop, yo, meet me and send for you, like, cause right. Once you get to these levels, I would Edward Snowden and shit. I'm disappearing on you niggas. Yeah, I'm gonna get a team of hackers. They're gonna be my security, because that's what I'm moving like that. I'm moving with a different type of order. Got you. But and I pop up on the screen like, yo, nigga, all right, y'all be safe though, bloop, and disappear for another 3 weeks, because you have to move nimble and strategic. I don't know, so I would say yes and no to that question, Trey. Some days the sneakers he wear, I feel like I would want his sneakers or his shoes, but some of the access and the resources, I feel like I would be able to help other people with it. But then again, I may not be able to, because I don't know what he's dealing with. Right. Those board meetings behind the door, because there are a lot of moving pieces. And I think, like I said, in our community, the money aspect, we think money always equals power, but for some of us, money equals prison.
Facts.
I have money, but to people in our respective neighborhoods or our hoods or the cities we come from, money means, I got freedom or I got power. But in this case, it could really mean, no, you're a prisoner of your success. You're a prisoner of corporate ties.
Yep.
You're a prisoner of fame. You're a prisoner of the media.
Mm-hmm.
You're a prisoner in your own home. So him getting divorced, honestly, probably would have been a better thing for his life, because him staying at home with them kids, bro, you don't know what kind of danger he'll put his family in.
And that leads to my decision. As long as my kids and my wife was with it, you know what I'm saying? Then I would be up to it, because there's only one person, and the way I'm set up and built is me and God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And knowledge, right? So I feel like in that position, I'd be willing to deal with whatever consequence that came my way based on the decision that I made, as long as my kids and my wife was with it. You see what I'm saying? If they not with it, then I don't want it.
So it's almost like you said, that sounds like if you running for president, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, the whole team got to be on board for it, because
absolutely,
it's gonna come with this. Like, it's gonna look nice, but Sasha, Malia, y'all ain't gonna be able. Y'all gonna be under a microscope.
Yep.
Everything y'all do, y'all ain't gonna be able to go to no party and just
and understand what kind of stuff that I'm gonna have to deal with. So, like you said, like if let's just say if you fear that your life may be taken. Just understand that may come with the game based on the decisions that I make. Because there's going to be a lot of times based on my mentality, I'm not playing ball.
Yeah.
I'm not playing ball. I'm not doing it. You may want me to do that, but I'm saying no. So because of the consequences that may happen from me saying no, that my wife and my family and my kids got to deal with the decision that I'm making. You see what I'm saying? Because I know how I think. I don't rock with 80 to 90% of what y'all talking about. But if you're gonna give me that kind of position of power, then I'm going, like you said, Mayor, I'm gonna use that position of power to make change. Change y'all don't really want to see.
Yeah. And the first change, bro, I heard this dude say he wants to sue he wants to send an indictment to the Department of Education.
That's a whole nother conversation, man. That's a whole nother.
I can't think of his. I watched the whole documentary. He said, "Bro," he said, "I want to send an indictment to the Department of Education." And he poker face. And when I processed, I said, "Oh."
It clicked. It clicked for you.
I said, "Oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on."
Y'all just clicked just now for me.
That's the whole thing.
Yes.
Full circle. But if you don't know or you ain't educated enough to see what's happening, you'll never catch the shit.
Never.
Yeah.
You get up every morning, go to school, and act like it is what it is. And by the time you catch it, you're 50 years old.
I'll be the first to say I'm slow mo.
I got you.
Break this shit down for me.
Listen, man.
Well, he's saying that our education system, bro, it breeds, it plants seeds of inferiority. It's indoctrination, and that because they're teaching you regurgitated information and the same information has been taught, it's not applicable to the way times have changed. The education and the curriculum has been the same for the last 100 years.
Right? Okay, I'm good with that. Because y'all know I run teams. I get it. I was sitting there like,
it just clicked when Mia said it.
I'll gladly be like, I'm lost. Somebody.
and that's the problem now. A lot of people are scared to say that too.
But Kill, imagine that. You're not attacking the tree or the branches or the leaves. You're attacking the root. You're attacking the root.
Right.
You're not attacking the root at all. You're putting people in place.
You can't be a teacher still writing on a chalkboard like it's 1949 while a kid got an iPhone, talking to somebody in another country now.
But think about the effectuation of change that comes with that. I'm talking about generations of shit. You see what I'm saying? This is how this is how people that are in power think. They don't think right now. They think in 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years.
Maybe beyond years.
Trajectory.
Right.
And if you think about like somebody in a yay position and how he's moving, jets here. I mean, he's planes here, bro. And it's clear he's gonna die a billionaire. He's dying a billionaire, right? Now, because his mother was an educator, and I pray that some of her teachings are in the fiber of how he planned on moving in the future. He know he can't leave his kids over there in certain houses, and that's just my speculation because I think he is cerebral. Because I don't know, I never met another rapper in my life that said, "Nigga, what he said, I fucked your Hampton spouse in a Hampton blouse in your hand." Came up like, bro, he be the new slaves talking crazy, and he's still walking around alive. Outside of the George Bush comment, this nigga, he been talking crazy to white people for about 2 decades. Encrypted.
That's because he's friends with the right folks. And like you said, as long as he don't cross them right folks, he can talk all that.
I'll come on her Hampton blouse and lace, whatever he said.
Yep.
But you imagine the guts and the gore it takes for you to say, man, whatever, man.
Yep. covered.
You're not even thinking about consequence at this point. And know what? Edward Bernays said it the best. Sigmund Freud, when he gave it to his nephew, he said, "You want to appeal to the masses? You speak to their desires and their fears, not their intelligence. And they always love you."
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm writing that
Say
down
that
right there,
again
bro.
one more
Hold
time,
on. Say that again. Say that again, bro.
He
Say
said,
that one more time.
"If you appeal to the masses, speak to their desires and their fears, not their intelligence." And if you think about what he has done in his tenure, he's spoken to all three. He spoke to the intelligence, he spoke to our fears, and he spoke to our desires. Whether he knew he was doing that or not. If you listen to those albums you titled, all of them speak to one or more of those components.
This is the best episode ever.
Period.
Yo,
Period.
bro. And
I hope
again,
people are
I
picking
say
up what's
again,
getting put down.
this is how God works. You know what I mean? God makes way for whoever's supposed to be here to be here. Amir came in with the tithes and offering. He was the guest pastor this week. You know what I mean?
I put my card up like I
like
he done put all my money.
Yeah, what's your cash app, son? What's your cash
Yo,
app?
what?
Hit me at like 8:20 and we just talked on FaceTime. I'm like, yo, you want to jump on the show with us tonight? Like, we about to get started. Like, this dude done came in and the guest pastor for the night. You know what I mean? Dropping jewels out.
He a New Yorker, so
No, this episode,
All day.
man, this episode is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my God.
I appreciate y'all, man, but I definitely appreciate y'all brothers, man, because I mean, I think this dialogue, it gotta be had. It needs to be had. And I don't, if it's 5 or 3 of us having it, bro, at least it was had. You know what I'm saying? And that's those seeds have been planted. But there's a huge divide, bro, between, and I feel like it's a manufactured divide in our community between generations because they don't want us sharing the shit.
Facts.
No, not at all.
Right? Because if we share that means certain people, because they know the power that they have is really empty. It's more psychological power. It's not really real power. It's that we believe that we need help outside of ourselves to do what we've been doing.
yep.
Yo, man, that's why I always say that whole bullshit about the game is to be sold, not to be told is bullshit. It's been bullshit and will always be bullshit.
Yeah, because they tell it to each other. They just don't want us telling it to each other because it keeps
Correct.
certain groups in power.
That's where you hear the term knowledge is power. You know, it truly is, but when they take away the thought process of you having the knowledge, you'll never have the power because you don't look at the knowledge in high regard.
Right.
No, it's funny. I learned about that this week, man. 2 weeks ago, I was talking to my friend C, and he was talking about, I'm not a 5%. He said knowledge and wisdom. He said, I mean, a lot of people have knowledge, but the application of it is where we fall short. Like people know things, but they can't apply it. And through application, you gain wisdom. And through wisdom, you gain that understanding.
Right.
So it's like a triad, like of how, you know, we process things. And I agree with you, bro. Like, but some people don't want to do the heavy lifting on read a book.
Hell no.
No, it's too.
This has made people take out the work aspect of it to where they can sit and do everything. Kill talks about it often to where like he takes the most beautiful pictures, but he'll tell you out his mouth, I ain't a photographer. I just know how to press a fucking button, right? I think it's bullshit. I think you need a camera.
No. I mean, I hate to discredit people who do beautiful things. So if I write a 16-bar verse, I'm not gonna say I'm an MC because that to me would be discrediting what Trey and what Amir does. You know what I mean? I may be able to take a great picture, but I would never label myself as I'm a photographer. I can take a good picture.
All I'm saying is that would be a good hobby for you because you are good at it. But as far as the heavy lifting, no. They do not want to do that.
They don't want to work.
No, they want a straight line to the bag.
Yeah, they just want the answers. They don't want to work.
Straight line to the bag. And then you give them the answers and they still fail the test.
Right.
Bro, I had somebody hit me, say, yo, Amir, could you help me look over my paper? I said, bro, I'm gonna give you, and I'm here because you got that look on your face like you don't want to help. I said, no, this is not helping you. I'm not helping. If I'm doing this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna help you with your thesis, and that's it. Why? I said, bro, because you gotta learn how to write, nigga. Like if you're paying for, gonna help you. I'm gonna help you if I do the shit. I'm gonna help you with your thesis. You stick to this and come talk to me later after your teacher grade.
That's the purpose
That's
of
it.
you paying to
Learn
go
how
to school.
Yeah, facts. So
The
And
educational system has taught us like it's a sin to fail. It's okay to fail as long as you learn from the failure.
bro, what did the
Trey, you say that? One of my favorite Sci-Hi lines is "Who's a slept-on lyricist?" Sci-Hi the Prince is nasty.
he's
Boy.
incredible.
That nigga said,
He's incredible.
and you really ain't a boss if you ain't never took a loss. Like,
Right.
that's the problem. Like, you can't be a boss. Nobody is gonna sit here and tell you. I think Jay said that in some article, and it changed my perspective on things because I was always scared to fail. I was like, I don't want to fail, so I don't do things, so I don't fail. And then Jay was like, the problem is us successful people don't tell. He said, you know how many business ventures I had that failed? You know what I mean? And that changed my thought process, because at that time I thought it was just like, oh, everything Jay does wins, because that's what it looks like. It looks like everything that Jay
Iceberg
touches
effect.
That's
is gold.
PR. That's PR.
Right, you know what I mean? So when he said that, I mean, literally just him saying, yo, you know how much stuff I did that failed? That like said to me, it's okay to then try and then fail. You know, well, I remember when Wendy Williams went from radio to television, and I was like, see, I wouldn't have done that, because yo, if you failed, then you gotta go all the way back. And it's okay to fail. Like I came up with that mentality of like, it wasn't okay to fail. But now you see Wendy Williams, what, 10 years later, still on TV? You know what I mean? Like, so that's what was holding me back, that I was scared to fail. Like, it's like, you know, and if I fail, it's like, oh, you know, I go back to zero. It's like, nah, just keep moving. You know what I mean? It's something. I was in Bible study once, and the OG, I don't know if this is true or not, but I used to always be like, yo, why do God rock with David so much? Like, this nigga done killed niggas and all this stuff. And I don't know if this is biblical, but my OG was like, David never made the same mistake twice.
Never made the same.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yep.
And that's where I started to look. You said?
I gotta take that with me.
Yeah, and that's what made me kind of
Yep.
change the way I looked at life. Like, yo, I teach Naomi, you gonna make mistakes, just don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
You know, it's to the point I don't even get mad. Like, Rex, say like you killed, can you take me to the airport? Yeah, you 2 hours late. I don't even get mad, because it's like, you know what? This shit will never happen again.
Right.
Yeah.
And it takes stress out of my life, because normally it's nigga, right, he late, I'm all mad. I'll be chill as shit, because I'm like, take all the time you want, because this shit will I will never make this mistake again. And that's something I pride my life on. You will not see Kill making the same mistake twice. I will make it, I will move on, but I'm not making the same mistake twice.
And excuse my ignorance, but how? It's a question, but it's also a statement. How can you learn if you succeed every time?
Yeah.
Right.
You can.
Right.
That's the tie-in.
You would get good at technique, but you wouldn't get good at emotional aspect of it. I mean, you will perfect, right?
Yeah.
But learning how to deal with the emotional side of taking that L is a different.
Yeah.
That's something that goes deep into the fiber of your person. So
Yeah. And it's also how you take. It's also how you take that L. It's how you take that L. Because I was reading this, and this you can tell by the people I'm about to name. It's a long time ago. A sports psychiatrist was saying, when Jason Kidd makes a mistake, he forgets about it by the next play. When Tim Duncan makes a mistake, he's thinking about it 4, 5, 6 plays later. So when I read that, it was like, I want to be the Jason Kidd. I want to make a mistake and move on from it. You know what I mean? Whereas you would look at Tim Duncan, you can see he's not on top of his game for the next 2 to 3 plays, because he's still thinking about how he messed up. But those 2 or 3 plays can now put your team down 9 points. You know
But it's
what I
all
mean?
part of the learning process. It's
Right,
still
it's part of the
learning,
learning process.
learning it differently.
Right.
Yeah.
And at that point, I said, I want to be a Jason Kidd. I want to make a mistake. I have homeboys who have made mistakes 10 years ago, and they still thinking about it to this day.
Damn.
To this day. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like, oh man, I messed up with my ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago, and you still thinking about her. Bro, you still thinking about Shorty from 10 years ago? You still thinking about that job from 10 years ago? You still thinking about that car accident from 10 years ago? Like, bro, you gotta move on, bro. But, you know what I mean? So, again, and it's not downing anybody. It's just saying, like, you've got to find a way to move on past that, because you are going to take losses, you know? And it's like what I've taught Naomi, you know, I forgot what to live, say something like, you know, would never take losses. I only win. So I forgot the bar, but you know, it's one of those things we gotta teach our kids resilience, and it's one of my beefs with nowadays. Trey, you know, our age, you got if you was in the spelling bee, nigga, there was one trophy. That was first place.
That's it.
Second and third place got ribbons. Everybody else got nigga try hard.
The
Try
big
harder
fucking
and
trophy.
come back. You know what I mean? Nowadays,
You don't
everybody
get
gets
the
a trophy.
participation trophy. Right.
Nowadays, you come in 120th place, nigga, you get a trophy. But
Nah,
what does that teach our kids?
How do you learn?
Why would I try to come back and do better? He got a trophy, I got a trophy. It goes back to
can
what
just
Amir
show
was saying. It goes back to as long as I got the bag, who cares? So it's not teaching a resiliency for our kids to say, well, let me work harder because
I love the
got the
tie-in.
same thing that he got.
I love the
That's-
tie-in.
Those are all tie-ins.
Who cares? Going
all
back
tie-ins.
to where we discussed
what Amir
building
said.
there.
That's what Amir said. As long as you got
Yes.
the bag, nobody
Who
cares.
cares?
Telling you, man,
No,
that's a t-shirt. I've been talking this nigga for the past 2 days, dog. You better start this t-shirt line. Like, as long as I got the bag, who cares? That's a t-shirt, because that's
That is
real,
dope.
bro.
That's
dope.
real, dog.
In the world itself, nobody cares how you got your money. They just care if you got it.
Yep.
Simply
Selling
put.
drugs, you robbed somebody, you got it through education. It doesn't matter.
That's
Whatever.
Yeah.
As long as you got it, you
That's
got
right.
it.
And you got it.
Which, like you said, man, is a twisted mentality.
It's twisted. It's warped, bro. Because imagine Soldier Boy, right? Teaching your kids because he worth money. No disrespect to Soldier, but imagine a classroom full of troubled youth listening to Soldier Boy. Now, they could learn some things from him, facts, right? But imagine a curriculum put together by him to lead, right? And he hasn't displayed any leadership, anything in his fiber thus far. It could develop.
Right.
But this is the question, but because he got the bag, our community, the past, whether it's the past or the present, people where we from, bro, will tell you, yo, shut the fuck up. He got the, you can't tell him nothing. They even tell us you can't tell him nothing because he got the bag.
Like skip the buffoonery, skip the antics, skip all of that. He got the bag.
Yeah.
Right.
He got the bag. You can't tell
go
me.
sit down and be quiet. He got the bag. He can speak.
And the
Yeah,
sad
he
part
can
is
speak.
the media has always spoken to our people. I remember when Stella got her groove back came out, and it was like trips to Jamaica skyrocketed because black women was like, oh, that's how you get a man? Oh, okay. Let me, you know what I mean? So it's kind of just like whoever says, I could say something all day to somebody. It goes in one ear and out the other ear. Somebody else comes in, you know, if Kevin Durant says it, boom, it's stamped.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I always tell people, I take advice. Some of the best advice I've gotten from a homeless person, a janitor, and a fucking crackhead. Like literally, some of the best advice I've gotten has been through that. I'm not looking for what's your educational background, what's your PhD, do you got the bag? Like, good advice is good advice, and I'll take it from anybody. You know what I mean? You know, my whole saying, you know, you can pay now or pay later, but if you pay later, it's gonna cost you more. Nigga, a crackhead told me that. And that's something that I live my life by to this day.
And that's the realest shit.
Yeah, you can pay now or you can pay later, but when you pay later, it's always
Cost you
gonna
more.
cost more. You can pay that cable bill now when it's $250. You can pay it later when it's a late fee. Now you paying $300. But if you want cable, nigga, you gonna pay. So why not?
Like the stock market. That's like the stock market.
Yeah. You know, so I always tell folks, you better stop looking at people's educational background. Just when you get game, you better take it. That's the thing. And I don't care who gives it to you. If somebody gives you some game, you better take it. A janitor, my first year working with kids, I was like, yo, man, I'm praying to God, I need patience. And he was like, you better be careful because when you ask God for patience, there's gonna be a lot of stuff thrown at you.
Oh, absolutely. You gonna be
And that's what happened.
What you
I
asked
went to him. I
for.
said, "Yo, my man, things crazy. This going." He said, "Remember, he said, remember, Kill. I told you. You ask God for patience. How you think you gonna get it? You only gonna get it by why things being thrown at. A janitor taught me that. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't about the bag. It's about who's telling you something. These are principles that I've lived on in my life for the past 21 some odd years. So you're right. We got to get past just he got the bag. But so I guess the moral is Ye can't be canceled because he got the bag. You know what I mean? He got the bag.
Big bag.
Clearly. Yeah. And it's funny because I don't want to even take this all the way there, but I wonder what Kevin Hart, because Kevin has been through enough drama to have been canceled, whether it's the cheating on the wife, whether it's the comments he made about making jokes about his son being gay and things like that, and then that crew wanted to cancel him and everything like that, and just like Kevin Hart just keeps bouncing back, like he just
That's interesting though, man, because I was asking somebody who. It was an article I came across, and it said the cancel culture is the same political group that had actually been around since the 1600s, 1500s, bro, in America.
Please expound.
It was saying how, and don't quote me, how we've always created like dark enemies. Like people who run these corporations are huge, whatever. If you go against their policy or whatever, they will cancel you. It said the Blair Witch. It's the witches of Eastwick, because they didn't understand what they was doing. Instead of canceling them, they burned them. That was cancel culture then. Nowadays they don't cancel, they don't burn you or kill you. They silence you on social media.
Yeah, okay.
And that kills you.
Gotcha.
They silence your voice. So it's saying cancel culture is not something that was created during the pandemic. It's been around for hundreds of years. They just changed the name of it.
Nah, I feel
And when I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
You just inspired me with that statement. That's dope.
That's bugged out, though. It's really bugged out.
It's bugged out, but it's dope because of the way I feel about myself, and I don't want to make it about me.
No, talk, man. Speak.
No. I'm just saying, it's designed, right? This whole system is designed to cancel culture. If you're speaking about something that is adverse to what the system is, they're gonna try to cancel. Period. But if you happen to, in the midst of you still sticking to your message, and in the midst of you still sticking to your goals and aspirations, you still got people still wanting to listen, still trying to find you, and still trying to, rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Then that cancel culture shit don't work. They could put a label on it. They could change it up. They could do all kind of shit to try to silence you. But if it's still people trying to find you, and still people trying to listen to you, and still people trying to bond with you, and all this other shit, then that shit don't work.
Bro, I mean, that right there, that's Dave Chappelle. Because you see, they trying to cancel him hard.
Yes.
He's
the walkouts, everything.
But he's too nimble. But one person I seen get canceled, and y'all can tell me if I'm bugging or not. Y'all may have an aha moment, or I may be having an aha moment right now. Was that nigga Farrakhan, bro? He ain't never bounced back on no me.
Yeah.
You said Farrakhan?
Yeah.
Cancel him.
Not necessarily, because there's still a good amount of people that still fuck with him. Now he may not be on a commercial perspective like
yes,
yeah, definitely.
PE was talking about him, and all of a sudden I got hip to him. Like I ain't know who the hell Farrakhan was until PE said something, and then all of a sudden his popularity grew, and then all of a sudden he was able to get 1 million motherfuckers to come to DC, right? But then whatever happened, they canceled him to a certain degree, but not all the way, because there's still a group of more. He still gets in.
He got a lot of people that's still behind him.
He still gets a mic in front of his face. Yeah. You can still find footage of this motherfucker talking that shit with a bunch of motherfuckers still listening.
He just had some people at his house last year.
But I see what Amir is saying. Like there was times when I'm not even looking for Farrakhan, and he was there.
Yeah. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Farrakhan in years. Like it don't come across my timeline. It don't come across my TV screen.
And
I'm just gonna be different. Like I just, it's almost like how I would say, like how somebody like I would say like this. I didn't really start watching ball till '89. but I knew Magic, Bird, the Lakers. You know, I knew that stuff. So I wasn't even looking for it, and I saw it. In the 90s, I wasn't even looking for Farrakhan, and I saw it. You see what I'm saying? So that's not the way it is anymore. If you see
they gave him commercial viability. What I'm saying.
Right. So if you see Farrakhan now, you looking for him because I don't see him anywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I haven't seen him through this whole pandemic. I've been watching CNN more than I've ever watched CNN.
Oh no,
even through the George Floyd stuff. Even through the George Floyd stuff, that would have been Farrakhan's bag.
But yeah, you're not gonna see him on there. You know, but at the same time, I could be wrong, but I don't think he's attempting visibility when it comes to that kind of shit.
Yeah. Yo, tell me this: is that the reason? Wasn't the reason Arsenio got canceled because they told him not to put on Farrakhan?
Yeah, and he did. And then once he did, they canceled him. But Barbara Walters did the same thing, and she was fine.
Right.
So
exactly,
and that's what I see. That was my.
So
point.
it's funny a man saying that because I'm like, shit, Arsenio got canceled, and but we didn't call it that. Like I don't know what we called it when that happened. It just was like I don't know. Like what did we say? Why?
It was probably shut him down. Shut him down.
Yeah, maybe we said
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because he now talking about it like they said don't put him on. He brought him on. It was like okay, boom, okay, we got you. No more Arsenio Hall show.
But the Million Man March was after that.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm talking about as far as Arsenio, not Farrakhan.
Yeah.
But
well,
they canceled
because
Arsenio.
you know what? And that whole Arsenio shit was do what we say, boy. And if you don't do what we say, boy, then we're gonna cancel. It was
right.
That shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna crack the whip on you, motherfucker. You gonna be the what is it called? The casualty, the casualty of war. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be the casualty. You do what we say, boy. You not listening? Okay, you out of here. That's what that was. But Farrakhan kept rolling after that. Yeah, go ahead, man. You was about to say something?
No, I mean, and this is in agreement with what you were saying, bro. I was just saying Farrakhan was canceled from social media and public. Yeah. You can go find them for sure. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about two of his most accessible and visible platforms, they took that from him. If these motherfuckers are cancel the president of the United States, anybody can get it.
Yeah.
I'm not a Trump whatever. I don't even fuck with him. But I'm just saying he was still a president and they canceled this nigga live in the flesh. Like,
but he was always a puppet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was always a decoy.
It's crazy. All right, so let's say this. Let's bring it back.
This episode is the shit.
Oh my god, yo!
Do we think we'll ever get the old Kanye back? Because I won't hold you. Every time there's a new Kanye album, I'm hoping for some boom bap. I'm hoping for something that's gonna go back to we just talked about his first 3 albums, how incredible it was, and My Dark Twisted Fantasy, and I haven't even gotten through Donda because it's just too many goddamn songs. And then the motherfucker put out a deluxe version of Donda. I'm like, damn, 27 songs. Now we got 47 songs. So do we think, and I feel like we see glimpses and pieces of it. Like that joint that did make the album with Andre 3000. That's crazy. But that's Madlib. That's Madlib. The same thing with the joint on here. No parties, no more parties in LA.
No more
that's
parties
Madlib.
in LA. Yes, Madlib.
You know what I mean? So do we ever think we're gonna get that Kanye when we talk about we miss the old Kanye? I don't know, because Donda is so all over the place. It sounds like somebody who really who there's no goal in mind. Like it always seemed like Ye was very strategic. I remember My Dark Twisted Fantasy sessions. He ran that shit like a boot camp. It was like we're all in Hawaii, we play ball, we eat, and from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. I saw the little things up in the studio, no texting, no tweeting, no Instagramming, like we ain't on social media, we are focused, we are here. And when you have that type of discipline, you get My Dark Twisted Fantasy. I don't know if Ye is on that. Donda just felt like, I think it started with Pablo when he started doing this shit like, I dropped the album. No, I take it back. I don't like it. Here's some changes I made. That's the new one. Oh, I don't like that shit. I take it back. Okay, here's the final version. And it was the same thing with Donda. There was one Donda that's like, nah, take it back. Like, so I just don't know if Ye is focused enough to be able to present us. I mean, if you're betting money on it, I'm gonna say I don't think I'm gonna get another 5 mic album from Kanye West. Maybe that's a better question. Do you think you're gonna get another 5 mic album? Not the old Kanye.
You just moved the goalpost, Kill.
Didn't he?
You really did.
Think about it. If I'm saying, can we get the old Kanye West back? He was a 5 mic artist. He gave us 5 mic albums. So if we get the old Kanye back, initially what we're saying is we'd get another 5 mic album.
Nah, that's too different.
You moved the goalpost and called the flag, my nigga.
Exactly.
And moved the ball up.
How is that too different? Okay, so what would the old Kanye be to you? What would the old Kanye be?
Okay, now go down the line and ask that.
Okay, JR. Here's a great thing. When Jordan came to the Wizards, I think people want to see Bulls Jordan. We weren't getting that. You know what I mean?
Did we get the Jordan back? Did we get the Jordan back that we got when he went to baseball?
I don't think we want that Jordan. Oh, the one prior to baseball.
Right.
That's what we want back. And what was
it? Did we get him back after he came back from baseball?
No.
Did we get that exact Jordan?
No.
Okay. So based on that, not the Wizard shit, because there was a difference between the baseball Jordan pre and post.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So did we get the same Jordan back?
Yeah.
I think we did. The nigga dropped a double nickel in the garden.
I don't think we did, but
go
ahead.
Nah, we didn't.
That's a better assessment.
We didn't.
Because the old Wizards Jordan, nah. That's far removed. But I think there was a different player between Jordan pre-baseball and Jordan
pre. Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think Jordan pre-baseball 5 mic player, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Post baseball, how many mics are you giving him as a player? Because
Four
he went
and a
on to win
4.5.
4.5. Okay.
He said 4, and Rex said 4, and JR said 4.
So a 4 mic player went on to win 3 more chips.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, I think as far as Kanye,
right. So I'm sorry, not to move the goalpost. Do we think we're gonna get the old Kanye back?
Absolutely not.
I don't think we're gonna get him back, but we may get a more experienced and wisdom-filled Kanye that will be able to deliver sonically and production-wise a better sound that may be nostalgic and reminiscent of what he used to do. I don't think headspace-wise he's in the same energy. So if you pulling from energy, if you're pulling from an energy trying to recreate what it felt like when you was in your rookie year, as opposed to how you can still drop 20-30 points in your senior year, you know what I'm saying? But is it as exciting when you've been dropping 20 points for every album? If you're gonna have to drop 100 for niggas to believe that for it to be that you back. When if you look at his stats, he's been consistent each project, right? Evolution been happening. Yeah. Production's been fire. I ain't gonna front. I think Donda's album versus a lot of albums that came out in that class of artists, production wise, was the best produced album in hip hop of the year. My opinion. Sonically and instrumentation. Now, it was patchwork music. I mean, like you said, it was a bunch of records patched together and called the album. I think if he'd have took a little bit more time to tailor the records and make it a little bit seamless, but I didn't understand it when I did a little bit of research that the album, the beginning, those beats, the way the drums were playing was he played those drums according to his mother's last heartbeats. So there was little things in the album and symbolisms that he put in there that were very, like, for those fans that were gonna dive in and take a deep dive into what he was doing. So I do. If you ask a Kanye fanatic, they will tell you that Donda was, the whole things, the skits and whatever, all of that dedicated to his mother, and even the rollout, it was never done. So I think he took it from just audio and made it an audio visual experience, not just the audio experience. So it will. I mean, what can he do now? He can't live in a stadium anymore. He's gonna have to get on the spaceship next time. Like he's done every fucking thing,
and he'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Who just went to space? My man William Shatner just went in the spaceship, right?
He did.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Kanye gonna be the first rapper in space. I promise you. He gonna do some shit. He gonna film it.
I believe.
And then niggas will be like, "Yo, he the great. He's back. He's innovative." I'm telling you, he can't do nothing. What else can he do?
I think he is going to your question. Can we get the old Kanye back? Definitively, no. That's the old Kanye. But can he get to the stature or to the acceptance musically that he was back then? Absolutely. As long as they don't kill him first.
I think I'm asking the wrong person. I think I answered wrong. Let me answer like this.
That's kill moving shit.
The people who loved Kanye were the boom bap rappers. You know, the boom bap community. You talked about Get 'em High was your shit. You know, Common and Talib. This nigga's circle was 88 Keys, Common, Talib, the Backpackers. Now he's on Drink Champs talking about, I tricked y'all. I wasn't no backpack rapper. I just used y'all motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So I think those are the people who are saying we want the old Kanye back. So those are the people. So the Backpackers, boom bappers ain't fucking with no goddamn dime. They're not. You know what I mean? Like, they're not fucking with the Life of Pablo. When I talk about the Life of Pablo, if I mention Ye, if I mention 808, niggas are gonna be like, niggas that listen to Conway, Benny, Flea Lord,
well, they ain't fucking with
hip hop niggas are gonna look at me like, nigga, you bugging. That Pablo shit was trash. So when I talk about the old Kanye, we're talking about the person that the boom bappers are gonna
fell in love with.
Like, I'm saying, are we getting him back?
And I'll say to you, or you say no definitively. I'm saying to you, as long as he's breathing, shit comes full circle, right? Sound
but
comes.
It's been a minute, Trey. My dark
twisted
I know that. Like 15 years.
I understand that.
So he's had 6 more albums that niggas have been like, nah.
Because we're not there yet. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can talk about Conway and all of them, but that ain't popular culture. That's still not popular.
No. But again, the original Kanye. Remember, he was speaking for his crew, the Most Defs, the Talib, Lyricist Lounge. That was Ye's his audience. You know, now as he continued to grow, it got bigger. But I think when people say, I want the old Kanye back, they're not talking about the Life of Pablo. They're not talking about Yeezus. They're not talking about 808 and Heartbreaks. They're talking about the Barry Bonds. Even with Power, what was that shit that I hated? Stronger. I hated Stronger.
Remember what you and Mir said. The most forgiving, how we forgive people.
Not boom bappers. Not boom bappers.
Listen.
Okay.
Let me finish. Let kids like you and Mir said, the most forgiving point, or when we forgive people for doing wrong, is when you give them a jam. When you give them something that will make them forget all of that fucking shit that you did. And I'm saying to you is that Kanye has the ability, as long as he's alive, to create the one record that will say, you know what? I don't understand what he did. This nigga back. He did it. Da. So to answer your question, will we ever get the old Kanye back? And I'm saying to you, as long as this nigga's breathing, we will get the Kanye back.
I mean, people have done it. R&B guys have done it.
My vote is no, that we won't get him back. Or we'll get him back as a trick. It's like what I used to say about Jay. I used to say Jay is like Satan. Jay is like, you know, how Satan always wanted to trick you. Like, hey, didn't God say don't eat from that tree? It's like, no, he said we don't eat from that tree. Oh, well, God don't want you to eat from that tree because they don't want you to know as much meat. And I say that to say, like, I remember those conversations because there was a split. There was a time when Jay-Z was all backpackers. and there was that split. That Hard Knock Life album, it was a huge split because I remember people being like that shit. I don't like that album. I didn't like Swiss's beats or none of that. And it was
I don't like it now. I used to love it. I don't like it now.
And it was a split in hip hop. And then I remember it being like, when I heard Death of Auto-Tune, I remember people was like, oh shit, this is the Jay-Z I'm talking about. Like, oh, Death of Auto-Tune. And then we hear the rest of that album and we like, yo, what the fuck? This nigga always tricking us. He gives us a ill. And Guru talked about it. He would be like, I tell Jay, I need that barbershop record. I need that record so when I'm in the barbershop and they talking shit about you and, you know, this New York song with Alicia Keys, I need that. So I feel like, yeah, Ye could give us that one song, but do I feel like Ye is going to give us another album that we will celebrate the way we have celebrated all these other joints? I don't think so. I personally just don't think so. I hope I'm wrong. I tell people all the time.
And I see how you
We're
can
not
go.
even in that era, though.
Right.
Like that.
What I mean by that is when I say that era, it's kind of like, for instance, when Jay did American Gangster, I got excited. Because when people said Jay was making another album, I was like, oh, this motherfucking album. But they was like, no, it's going to be about the movie American Gangster. So I'm like,
Until you
talking
heard
about
it,
selling
though,
drugs.
until
then-
you heard it.
Huh?
You didn't get excited.
No, I love American Gangster. I love American Gangster.
American Gangster is fire.
Album. Because you already had the preconceived notion that I don't want to hear. And when you heard the Jay
No. But I got hyped when I heard that he was going to be able to rap about drugs. Because I feel like that's Jay's. That's his
his
go-to.
wheelhouse.
It's almost like telling Steph Curry. It's almost like telling Steph, you can't take no threes.
That's a wheelhouse.
That's not going to be a fun game. Like,
Right.
But when it was like, oh, he's gonna do this with this, and then he's getting with Sean C and LV, these two no-name producers. I was like, now I'm excited because these producers have something to prove. This is their shot at it. He's not doing it with Ye, who's gonna be like, yo, let's go to Paris real quick and fly back tomorrow and finish that. He's gonna be with that. So I feel like Jay gave us that album. You know, again, my money's not on it. I hope I'm wrong. I tell people all the time at 40.
Go around the room.
Yeah, I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. JR, is Kanye gonna give us an album that
just like how you said how when Jordan left, right, and then the baseball and all that, and Jordan still came back and he did 3 championships, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like that can be Kanye. I don't ever feel like Trey said, Kanye breathing, he can still do what he do. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like he can get respected with doing another album like that. But again, we're not in that space. And y'all talk about how this mainstream stuff and how they feeding us this foolery. It's like, we as music heads can be like, yo, Kanye's on his shit, like for real. But this mainstream that's feeding us this bullshit, they can be like, oh, this shit is whack. Oh, Kanye know what we talking about. But then we'll listen to something be like, whoa, that's giving us college dropout vibe. That's giving us late registration vibe. That's giving us graduation vibe. Like, we can do that, but this era we in now, when these young kids right now, they like, man, Kanye whack, he trolling, he doing this. But we can still be like, oh yeah, he still got it. So like Trey said, as long as he breathing, he can give us something. Because at first, I'm with you, Kill. I was like, nah, we ain't getting Kanye. But way y'all broke all this down, I'm like, long as he's breathing, he can give us what we want. Like, to be honest with you, what we want. This generation don't know Kanye like we know him. So of course, this generation gonna be like, this shit is ass. Like, they the life of the Pablo type of dude. That's what they have. They the Yeezus dude. Like,
not even more so this generation. Like, for instance, it's kind of like, I've liked Ye's album after my Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I'm a minority in that. If I go around folk, you know, the people who follow Apartment 5B, if I tell them I like Pablo, I like Ye, and I like Donda, they gonna look at me like I'm on crack. Like, yo, them albums are trash.
I'm one of them. I gotta
don't
listen to Donda again.
Oh my!
I don't necessarily want. I don't necessarily want the old Kanye. You know what I mean? I just want dope music. Like, that was my problem. There's something that Nas said that really pissed me off with Locomotive, when he was like, this is for my trapped in the 90s nigga. My trapped in the 90s nigga.
That was my shit.
No. Incredible song. But I felt some kind of way because I'm like, nigga, I'm not trapped. I just want you to make dope music. See, what you trying to do is you trying to pull a puffy on them. What happened is like, oh, I don't want to be trapped in the 90s. Nah, do whatever you want. Then we got the guy. So I'm not trapped in the 90s. I just want you to make dope music. And here's a great example. Outkast. I know a lot of people who stopped fucking with Outkast after ATL because they was like, yo, Kill, what's up with your man Dre? 3000, he look fucking crazy. He on TV with football pads and wigs, all kinds of shit.
So they didn't mess with
Equimini because when you listen to Southern Playalistics, you're listening to two kids talking about drugs, talking about guns, benzodiazepines. Right. You saw Outkast to me is like the Cosby Show. You saw Theo grow up. A lot of people don't want to see people grow up. Right. So that's the problem. That I don't have a problem with what Ye is doing because it's not the old Ye. I don't need the old Ye. I just want you to make dope music. So when I heard Miss Jackson sounds nothing like Southern Playalistics. It sounds nothing like Get Up or Get Out. The whole world, that shit off the Scooby-Doo soundtrack, I know niggas who are like, Kill, you crazy for liking that boy. I thought it was shit. All I care about is if you make dope music. That's it. So if, like I said, I like Life of Pablo. I like Ye. So I don't need the old Kanye back. I just want you to make dope music. You know what I mean? Where some
but
people
the old Kanye, but see, that's what I'm saying. When you say the old Kanye is synonymous with dope music, right?
Right. I think it depends on how you look at it, Trey. Okay. I think the old Kanye is synonymous with samples, soul samples. Where are the drums? Because I'm not gonna hold you as a producer. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to listen to this beat album. I want to hear what Kanye chopped up. I want to hear what samples he used. I want to hear what drum rolls he's using. That's not coming back. I don't even know if Kanye produces anymore. I mean, my Dark Twisted Fantasy, other people were doing the beats. So that's what I mean by I don't think I'm getting the old Kanye back where I'm gonna be like, everything we were talking about, JR, your mom playing the stuff, talking about, oh, that's the Persuaders, or that's the Intruders, or that. I don't think we're getting that back. And that's what he was known for. You know, it's almost like,
wasn't he doing that with, like you said, when Cameron, Down and Out, right? He didn't produce that either. So and then I know a lot of the stuff on Brandy's Aphrodisiac, he didn't either. So it's like.
I didn't know about that. I'm just saying as far as like the sound. So it's kind of like, for instance, I didn't like what was the Tribe's fourth album, Beats, Rhymes, and Life, because the sound, it sounded different. You know, you listen to
well, to use that, the latest album, the Donda joint, the joint that he did with three stacks, that was a sample, and that
and that's the Madlib joint that didn't
was
make the album
crazy.
But I heard it didn't make the album because 3000 didn't know you couldn't curse on the album.
But that's fine. But what I'm saying is that shows you the capability of being able to create.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it's somebody else's track.
Oh yeah.
Be able to pull those type of songs together.
I think, but what I'm saying is, are we going to get a whole album of that?
And I'm saying, as long as he's living and breathing, we did that once. We can pull it all together and say, you know what? One day I want to wake up and say, look, I want to make an album that just sounds like this.
No, you're right.
He's ignorant. He's not ignorant to it. You know what I'm saying? No. He knows what it is. So he always got that file to pull. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's breathing, it's like shit. You know what? Let's go back to the 90s real quick. Let's go back to the early 2000s. Let's make a whole fucking project just like this.
No, I feel you.
He did it in 2021.
I feel you. I can't put money on that, but my money would be. Like I said, like I always say, I hope I'm wrong. I told y'all for years. I hope I was wrong about Ben Simmons, right? I said I'd rather be wrong.
You was exactly right about Ben Simmons.
And I hate being right. That's the thing. At 47, I hate being right, because if I'm right, then we fuck. Because I would love another Kanye album, so I wouldn't be right. Yeah, are we gonna get another Kanye? Are we getting the old Kanye back? Or are we getting the old boom bap Ye back?
I think it's likely. When I said no, you won't get the same Ye with the same experiences, but you're gonna get. He can revisit those sounds, bro. I mean, if he got an ASR close by, he can make it happen.
All right.
You know, I ain't gonna say.
Nah, I think we'll get it in pockets, like with how we've been getting it the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm with Trado. If he feels the need to wake up and say we're gonna have motherfucking eggs and bacon for breakfast for the next 20 goddamn years, that's what it's gonna be. He has the power.
Right on that.
He has the power to do that, and he just he has to figure out what's gonna be the best way to convey the message he's trying to convey for that particular project. And if it's bacon and eggs, then goddamn it, we're gonna eat bacon and motherfucking eggs.
You right.
He did it with the goddamn what's my man from the motherfuckers from Virginia, my man.
From Virginia?
Oh fuck.
You know the two brothers, one of the brothers.
Oh, Pusha.
Yeah, Pusha.
He did it with
Pusha.
that Pusha.
Talking about with that project. He say, I'm gonna go back and chop up some shit motherfuckers ain't heard, and I'm gonna give you 7 bangers.
You talking about the Pusha?
Yeah,
album,
with the Whitney picture.
More recent.
Yeah, that was what 4 years ago.
18.
My bad, JR.
No, you good.
That caused controversy, but
Right.
The album is great. That's a five.
The album is
album.
dope.
Yeah, all day.
With the sonics and the sound, like he killed that.
You're right. And like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I would love to hear that again. Amir, tell them everything. What you working on, good brother? Where can they get at you? Where can they follow you?
Oh, that's love, man.
Before we get started, let me just say that this is no surprise to anybody for next week's show, the end of the year show. This is still my #1 album of the year. Right there. I've been saying
Thank you, brother.
I've been saying it now. It has never left the rotation. I got the 422nd one out of the 500 made. Had to cop this joint on vinyl. So just for people who haven't heard this, this is Kill's album of the year. Even though they say it's a mixtape, it's an album to me, goddammit. So, but Amir, where can I get at you, good brother?
Thank you, man. Get at me on Instagram, AMXXR on the gram, and 25th Hour Man on Twitter, 25THHOURMAN. And I got Dope Boy Soul coming, and another mixtape we probably cooking up.
Yes,
Kill don't want to say, but Kill guy, I done cooked up like 3 with Kill so far, among some other producers too. Pete, Kill, some other guys I'm working with, man, Shanghai, and my man Tone Beast, and a few other producers, Austin from the Heat Makers, some shits with him. And whoever, people send me beats, I just be rocking, man. So, I'm looking forward to the album.
Produced
I've definitely
by Pete Rock, the legendary.
The total Dope Boy Soul album. Shout out to Damian Scott too for the artwork for it. He's one of the dudes that does a lot of the work for Marvel and DC comics, the Spider-Man, Thor, and all that Batman stuff. So he did the cover for us, and I don't know, man, just really excited to see what happens, man, because humble is the way, man. But I just, it's a student of the game, bro. As I sit here in all train, I was looking up Tracy's video, man, and I just remember. I tell her every time I see him, but when I heard this joint, man, I forgot I was going to a family reunion or something, man, and we was in VA, and I heard that this part and dun, 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 and the flow stayed.
You one of the few that noticed that shit, but I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, the flow stayed with me forever. So. Like I said, man, to make on the album I made, it was a bar, I think, a lyric on that said to add to the book, you got to know the chapters. And the guys like yourself and everybody above, man, and in this conversation, man, you guys don't think the journalists and people that everything that you do is still just as much as part of the culture as the artist or the DJ or the producer. Everybody has a role to either like or dislike, make commentary on it, because this whole thing is part of the ecosystem of hip hop. And I'm just thankful to be a voice and a part of the ecosystem, and to be able to contribute to the ecosystem of hip hop with somebody with Pete Rock. and all that he's done for me, man, and the lessons and the little brother curse outs and the pats on the back when I do because we know it's tough, Pete tough, but it's always been love, man, and I'm just appreciative, and I hope y'all, when y'all hear the album, man, and Kill don't want to say he done got a few little, he got his ear on a couple joints, and I ain't gonna front, bro. I'm excited for y'all to hear this thing, man. I definitely, if the conversation I had with you got you going, and the conversation on that album will get you going, I promise you that.
That's good. I'm definitely excited.
All the time.
Yes.
Ever since Pete and CL broke up, I used to always be like, yo, why don't Pete get with another dope MC? You know what I mean? I used to wonder that for years. I'm like, so when Porsche is the one who sent me the link to this, and I was like, yo, who's Amir? And I was like, yo, I don't give a fuck. It reminded me of the time when they sent me the vinyl in 889 of All City. And I'm like, who the fuck is All City? And I'm like, yo, Primo did side A, Pete did side B. I don't give a fuck. Just play that shit. We ain't even gotta pre-listen to that shit. Like, if it's got them two on it, then you know. So, and it's just like I said, this is just crazy. Vinyl Index is where they can cop this from.
Yes, sir. Vinyl Index, and they want to get that, or they can just go to. I mean, like I said, we didn't want to get in trouble for the sampling, so we couldn't really put it on a lot of the DSPs. So we had to, SoundCloud it and put it on Audio Mac, and a lot of even the mixtape services. So we was kind of like pigeonholed, but the new tape, I don't got a title for it yet. That we putting out right one more joint before the Dope Boy Soul album, and I look forward to everybody jumping on, man. And collaborating with people. Trey, you got drinks, send them over. I seen some just. I be cooking.
Oh, I thought you never asked. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not ready for that, man. You're not ready for that.
Listen, Killer tell you, I am next day air. He will absolutely tell you.
I sent this nigga a beat at like 2 a.m. last night. 4 o'clock today, he like, yo, finish, done.
See, I don't work that fast, but I get inspiration from cats like you. And I know what you talking about. So let's go, man. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
DJ Ray, can you do me a favor, move back away from the mic so they can see your hoodie for a second?
Oh, say less.
There you go, right there. Trey, why don't you tell them all about Glory? Here's the wild part with Glory. I still play Glory so much, I forgot the shit came out last year. That's the problem. Like, I forgot this. I got a mixtape called 2020 was a fucked up year, and it's got all my favorite songs from 2020, and Glory is all over it. But I'm like, damn, this shit came out a year ago, but
almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So talk about Glory, Trey.
Man, listen, that's the crown jewel, man. I was a vessel. That was God. Like, you know what I mean? Just in the manner that I put it together, you know what I'm saying? 2 months. I never wrote an album in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there were things that I know that I said consciously, and there were things that were said unconsciously that didn't really come from me. It just flowed. You know what I'm saying? And so, I get
on. That's so crazy. Me and Namir were just talking about that. Literally.
See, I know I'm talking to the right brother. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
2 nights ago, because I was asking him something about how he writes. He was like, "I'm just a vessel." You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the message is never. The messenger is never bigger than the message. You know what I mean? So,
God just used me. It was something that had to be said. You know what I'm saying? So He chose me to relay that, or she, or whatever. You know what I mean? I was chosen to convey that message. So Glory is always going to be around. 2027, 2029 is here, and it's going to stay here. So I appreciate you, Rec, for rocking the hoodie and all that. But it's still here on all digital platforms. It's on TracyLeeMusic.com. But I also want to, expound on this right here. Fire. This is my wife. You know what I mean? She created something, from a foundational aspect for the youth, for 4 to 8 year olds to really digest, the culture and the foundation and where it comes from, especially from a from a lyrical MC aspect. You know what I'm saying? We feature Grandmaster Caz in the book. We feature Melly Mel in the book. We feature Kumo D in the book because to us in this household, those were the foundation with regards to the lyricism of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? When you start talking about breaking down lyrics and where the foundation came from, it came from those three guys from my perspective. And my wife used me, you know what I mean, to create this book. This is not me. I was just the inspiration, but my wife wrote this book. And if you look at the two characters on the book, that's my son. Where am I at? There we go. That's my son, and that's my daughter right here. You know what I'm saying?
It's beautiful, bro.
And it was the illustration was done by an artist from Haiti. As I explained to Kill earlier, the illustrations were done during the time of the hurricane, during the time of the assassination, and she was still able to, you know, push through and create this art. Man. So go to Amazon.com to get your order of Hip Hop Don't Stop, ages 4 to 8. You know what I mean? And yeah, we got Glory, we got Hip Hop Don't Stop. Go to TracyLeeMusic.com, go to Left TV, LLEFT TV on YouTube, because that's what we're transitioning to. And yo, man, listen, this discussion was so ill. It's like I'm still thinking about everything else, but you know what I'm saying? And Mir, my man,
thank you, brother.
You used this sample from Earth, Wind and Fire, Emotions, side by side, that I'm like, yo, like, cause nobody knows it. I know Pete did the beat, but it's like,
yeah, he did.
Nobody knows this record, not like me. And I heard you farming on that shit. I said, oh my God, this
thank
nigga
you, brother.
is
Yeah.
special. Yes.
Thank you,
man,
brother.
I welcome
Thank
the collaboration. I can't wait, man. So like I said,
Yes,
TracyLeeMusic.com, go to IG, Tracy Lee ESQ, even though I won't be on there for a minute, but Left TV, LLEFT TV on YouTube. Subscribe. That's it.
DJ Rec
Thank you,
Run,
brother.
let them know where they can get at you. All the radio stations, mixtapes, beats, everything that you got going on, good brother.
I got a lot of shit going, man. I'm still tired from last night. I was up till 3 doing the radio show next. Just blessed, man. Blessed to be in y'all presence, man. I tell Kill that shit all the time. You know, 5 years of this, man. It's not gonna stop until Kill fires.
It's been 5 years. Like, time flies. Like
2016, my brother.
Poor sent me something.
Damn,
I was like, God,
right? Are you
I
serious?
didn't have a beard when we started rocking, and now I got this. Like, it's like I'm looking at old videos. Like, damn.
2016, man. My wife moved to Houston and left me the house in Kentucky, and I had my turntables up, and I made a mix and was asking Kill, just, hey, I need ears. And you seem like you're gonna give me some fresh ears. And he ain't got rid of me since.
right.
It's been Aries twins ever since. So I'm just appreciative of y'all, man. It's like you said, Trey. This has been one of them conversations that need to be had. Amir, you said the same thing. I hope that I hope it fits the right spaces for the right people, and they can take it and move mountains with it, because it needs to be had. I hope we can do another show specifically on certain things with the right settings, because you don't want to get too crazy with it. But nah, man, I appreciate y'all. Radio shows. So Dallas Fort Worth Heat. I'm doing a mix for Christmas and New Year's for them. The Christmas mixes will air on Christmas. You can pretty much just follow me on social media for that one. I'll post out all of the promotions. I do a show every Thursday, K102, Nashville, Tennessee. I do a Thursday throwback mix every week. Texas Heat Radio every Friday, 8 o'clock. I just got pegged to do another show that I'm in communications with, trying to figure that out. Me and Vegas just knocked out a quick little something, 3 beats on that. So trying to get my production game back up. Trying to get like Kill and have them 3 a.m. bangers. Man, bro, you just know that you are inspiration. Because I cannot find time to chop a sample right now. Inspiration. Got something dropping with Anthony Kanan. We did an EP with him over the last 6 or 7 months. I went out to New York and finished that up over the summer.
Fine.
He's gonna talk about that tomorrow. I did the scratches on all of the beats. My little brother knocked out all of the beats. I co-produced on a couple of them. This is gonna be a project that when you hear it, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, who is this kid?" So I'm excited for him to speak on that tomorrow on his IG. I'll post more later. But by the time this airs, it'll be up for consumption. And if you want more about me, man, you can follow me on Twitter at DJRec1, and on Instagram is at DJRec1NE. Hit me in the DMs, beats, mixes, scratches. I'll get back to you.
All right, JR, the R&B guru. Give him everything, good brother.
I gotta say, this has been the best one that we have done, because like y'all said, this conversation needed to be had.
Yes.
To be honest, it was very inspiring. Shout out to you, Amir. Like,
Thank you, brother.
you went in,
Likewise.
brother. Like for real. Like, I
Nah,
wanted
man.
to sip my cup and I couldn't.
Yeah, I'm mad I ain't got nothing else to drink.
I was in this, like, for real. So, yo, I hope this gets to people and they get it. You know what I mean? Because this is really a conversation need to be had. But the R&B rats for me and Elise, we just trying to represent R&B the right way. People trying to say that it's not out here, but it is. And we just trying to give people the history of it. We just posted our show that we did in Duke. That was dope.
Congratulations.
That's fire. That's fire.
Thank you very
How
much.
was it? How was it at Duke University, right?
It was dope. It was dope. It was really dope. Jimmy Jam really liked it. Like, he said he watched the whole thing and he was like, yo, please keep doing what y'all doing. He was like, you guys know y'all history, keep pushing, because they trying to, like, mainstream now is really trying to push our legends to the side.
Yep.
And, they trying to act like these new cats is creating something new, and y'all know it ain't new. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff ain't original now, and it's like, y'all need to know who the legends before y'all. So me and Elise keep doing that. We getting back on the radio. We actually gonna get on FM radio. We're in the process of doing that now. And
Congratulations. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, we was on iHeartRadio, and now, Elise has been talking to somebody, and he's a part of a FM radio station, so he liked what we doing, so he wants to start talking about that, so we get involved with that. And I'll catch that. We still doing that. Like, any of y'all, Tracy Lee, we just did a show with you. Kill, you need to get back on. Rec, you need to get on. Amir, now that you done did this, you need to get on too.
I'm with it.
Just put up the bat signal, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
it.
I sent it to all y'all. So, yeah, catch that. We still doing that.
Why don't you explain what Catch That is for people who haven't seen it?
What we do, the Catch That, which is like, we pick out Catch That minis is like, you can pick your favorite song, and we talk about it, and we just have a conversation about it. We get to know a person through their favorite song. But then we also do the regular Catch That, which a person picks an album, and we really get deep with it. Like, we go deep into the album. Like, it ain't just the singles. We go into the album cuts, which would lead us to somewhere else, So that's what I really enjoy about Catch That. So, yo, check that out.
I just did the intro album.
The intro album. Yo, listen. We just
traded that. I know that's the crazy.
We just finished editing that, and we went from literally track 1 to 13. And we talked about each of them. And it's a dope conversation because, like me and Elise said, we don't want people to feel like it's an interview. We just want to talk and have a good music conversation. You know what I mean? It don't want to be like we're interviewing somebody. You know what I mean? So that's dope. Check that out. Check us out on the R&B Reps on our website. The R&B Representatives on Instagram. The R&B Reps on Twitter. JR's World of Soul on Instagram. JR's World of Soul on Twitter. Still doing current R&B bangers. Trying to get these, new artists out, and that's about it. But the radio show, that's what we working on right now. So yeah, so more coming to that. But damn, Rec, it's been since 2016. Damn, Kill. I've been dealing with your foolery since 2016.
Since 2016. I'm sure it was the Leon, not Leon.
So actually that was 2015 then.
Right.
Yep.
So you've been
Leon Bridges
bullshit all that time. You already know it is with me, Kill 889, Twitter, IG. Got a project out with my man King James at jamespitflames.bandcamp.com. The first 48. Got a project with my man Echo. Echo is the name season 7. That's at echoisthename.bandcamp.com. I just want to salute all of you guys. Special shout out to Trey and Amir, because it still is mind blowing to me that 2 of my favorite MCs I can call my friends, I can call my brothers.
Yeah.
You know, I was downstairs with Naomi Amir when you FaceTime me. She was like, that's Pete Rock Amir? And I'm like, yeah. She's like,
That's
she's
funny.
calling you? I'm like, yeah. Like, you know, like that bugs me out. Trey will call me out, text me out nowhere, like, yo, you good? You and the family? So that shit's still just mind blowing to this day, you know, and it's just a testament to how down to earth both of these brothers are. So I always say with hip hop, you know, it's great when you can find people who make great music, but it's even greater when you find people who make great music and they're good people, because that's very hard to come by in this industry. So, you know, if not for nothing, support both of their projects and everything they do, from the books to everything, just because not only is it dope music, it's dope people, and those are the people that, you know, we again, as we say, we love hip hop, then this is where you get back to hip hop. You know, hip hop, I always say, it's not church. When I ask them for your tithes and offerings, but your tithes and offerings to the culture is supporting people when they put out projects that you like. I tell people all the time, if you don't like it, don't buy it. I don't want you, you know, but if it's good, then buy it. Just don't listen to it. Like, just don't come and get the message. And I'm not telling you a specific price to pay. Well, I guess I am, because the EP costs $8. Y'all know what the fuck I mean. Like, you know, give something. That's all I'm saying. So I will check y'all next week, y'all. Appreciate y'all.